Wake the Dead. Okay.
Right.
Welcome to Wake the Dead. This is your host, Sean McCann, with our co host, Hans Utter of Resonant State, and our guest, William Ramsey of William Ramsey Investigates. And tonight we will be looking at the Epstein files, the Satanism exposed, in the reality of our government and the high finance and intelligence operations. And it's all here for us to read. And we've been going very deep with the Manchurian Candidate mind control stuff. And this happened while we were unfolding in that, and we've kind of switched gears, and now we're going to be discussing this on Sunday night, at least or Saturday night, or Sunday, I guess it is now, for the next however long we choose. This has been, the last one was very informative. We were learning about the eugenics operations and the learning about the baby productions and baby abductions, and we were looking at the scientists that were working with him and their sick fantasies of changing the human race. So today we will be going further. Welcome. Thank you. Hans, would you like to say anything before we start?
Yeah. Well, welcome to the Resonant State, America's 1,000,000.25 most popular podcast. I thought 90 was the greatest, and then I had one subscriber cancel. I went down to 89. No, but but speaking of 11s and 9s, so far in 2026 we have 49 mass shootings, 1.07 shootings per day, 72 killed, 147 wounded. Lots of 9s and 11 in that, right?
Mm.
So the actual statistics. And so, for those of us who've been involved and connected with this type of material, however you want to parse it, as fringe, esoteric, tinfoil hat, however you want to say it, it's now completely out. And what we see in these documents, and we barely probably like the really, excuse me, the really dark stuff, which they admit it has not been released, but we have a veritable smorgasbord of the rulers of humanity, the masters of the planet. We have everything from transhumanism, genetic modification, AI, Palantir, to education, transgender, et cetera, et cetera. Again, and this is pushing surgeries on kids, et cetera. So the entire New World Order control grid, with the very highest of the most respected people, such as like Noam Chomsky, Donald Trump, others. Oh, I didn't say that. Just pretend I didn't say that, because I don't know who that guy is. But we are looking at the absolute corruption from the top, and you cannot describe it any other way except as absolute disregard for human rights, absolute evil. And these are the people that want to usher in the new smart cities, great reset. So these are the people that are ruling our planet right now. So I would like everybody to consider that.
Welcome, William. Please.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Great to be here. Last time we did our show was the 3rd of February, which was only like 3 days after the release, and so much more information, like you said, has come out. And I think we still scratched the surface, but I thought I was getting those eerie feelings of true, detective and Eyes Wide Shut. So I thought an Eyes Wide Shut theme about this kind of secret society engaged in sex magic and its overlap to the stuff that I found in the Epstein files would be a good topic. And so I put some slides together. And I just think that the correlation is just so overt. Like, it's the mansion in Manhattan, this place of like debauchery. So it's so dark. They all lied. They're all lying, and they've all lied straight to our faces. And it's only going to get worse. It's rolling out. Like, new people are getting new understandings of all of the facets that are in this 3 million documents. It's actually 3.5. So there were actually some documents that came out in I think it was late December, early January. That was 500,000 document tranche. And then there's this documents is 3 million. So it's just astonishing, like reading through it. It's like a really bad ride, and it only gets worse. And the connections, people are starting to make the connections between the docs, which is even worse. But the important thing is that they redacted all the child abuse material, death, and torture, which means that there was death and torture. And so there's another 3 million documents to drop. So who knows what are in those other documents, but what's in these is bad enough. And some of these things I'm surprised kind of got through. And we're going to go through some of those today, the code words, the things that validate Pizzagate, and validate Kubrick in a big way.
Right.
And Sean, we can, as we're going to finish and continue the Kilophot series, I mean, this absolutely ties in on so many levels. And so we literally have practitioners of ancient human sacrificial rituals, child abuse. This is going back thousands of years, and they are part of it. And in fact, the symbolism and coding is there to a certain degree, not to make too much of it, but the Epstein's temple, connection with Baal, with Moloch, et cetera, the stuff is still going. And this is the religion of the masters of the universe in their own minds. So let's see what these and William has compiled a wonderful selection of documents. So William, let's dive into the documents and see what we have here.
There's just so many things, like this whole thing about children and sex slaves and all this stuff that ties into what was going on when Bill Harford goes to the mansion. And it's in an industrial scale. Like, I don't think people realized how intense it was, but they're drawing people in from Eastern Europe. You're going to find that there's a strange connection between, and I'll show this if we can read the document, between Epstein and Juarez, where the femicides were. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that story, but it's just like, you'll just see how vast this operation was, and feeding out to all these rich, powerful people, much like what was discussed to Bill at the end when he goes to the mansion of the bricklayer, whatever his name was.
Ziegler,
yeah. And so I've included that in here. So the parallels are intense, and they've been intimidating and blackmailing people over this stuff, like in a dark way, for decades. And it was interesting because so much has happened since we talked, like this whole thing with Bondi being in front of Congress. And she's like, you didn't do anything under Biden. And like Massey says right back at her, this has been a problem for at least 4 administrations. So this goes back at least 20 or 30 years. I mean, it's just an incredible industrial scale operation. It's just something else.
And William, just to state that, so we have, of course, some of the earliest evidential chains. There's a few smatterings I think we find with the serial killers. We find tips of this iceberg, even go back to the 40s, 50s. But I mean, we have the finders, we have McMartin daycare, and the quote unquote, satanic panic, et cetera. All these things are interconnected. And I think that one thing, just to call attention to, is that, these are major high finance business deals going on as well. Like huge, planetary, the biggest possible deals with, the captains of industry, or some of them. So, I mean, I don't think, could you guesstimate like what kind of numbers? Because we're not talking about, a couple, say 7 or 8 people, and they molested like 20 girls. We're talking like what? Thousands, tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands of women and thousands of men. That's what I think. That's how big I think it is. Right. And there's a central, like it's concentric circles. So
with the whole modeling thing of Eastern European models and that whole everything from the 90s, and Trump with his like teen USA that whole like gives excuses to be shipping women from all parts of the world to, Trump's hotel to do the thing. It's there's a lot that we should be digging into.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I do have a file of Trump at this teen concert. He's with these perps. He's with David Copperfield and can't remember. He has a long. It's not Cassavetes, but he's the head of one of these modeling agencies. So everything's a front, right? So
Exactly.
there's all these fronts of the stuff. So I'm just running a modeling agency. However, I've got girls in an apartment in Manhattan, and you can come over and talk to them, or whatever, like arrange, right? You know what I mean? So
yes.
Yeah, well, no, and I think one of the commentators, I won't say the name, Hog Beep. Okay, I can say it, Hog Farts, whatever. Said Dutroux. Dutroux scandal is really, really, really important because that's sort of at the center of this. It is international. It is intertwined, and it all the time, even little things pop up, and even will bring things to light. We still just have that little tip of the iceberg, but the entirety of this scandal it reaches to the entire infrastructure, European Union, most of the major, and also academia, the intellectual life. That's a wild thing, right? You have these professors, you have these whole doctrines that are interconnected with this.
Preying on the youth, on the young minds, get them while they're young.
Yeah, and you can talent spot too, right? So like all this stuff through there. Trying to find this thing. I'm glad you mentioned Dutroux, which was in Belgium.
Dutroux was let out of jail too. They, just like Epstein, they gave him an easy deal and they let him out and like, he's doing again. Just like Epstein was.
But there's so much. That was another example of major cover up. Of course, Belgium, of course, is a much smaller country than the United States, but that was.
They had the white march or whatever, where like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people marched and screaming. Like it was a clear cover up, and it involved all the elites of Belgium. And there's a tie-in between Bannon and Epstein, which I put in this, which I don't think we talked about last time, about the Ninth Circle. So it goes right to secret society stuff. Like Sean and I think have talked about this whole ritual that's in the Kubrick film as a representation of like Saturnus. I think it's the fraternal Saturnus or whatever ritual. So it's like a Saturn ritual, and the Ninth Gate's really heavy duty, like a super heavy duty secret society.
Yeah. The Saturn stuff goes along with the Satanism in general, and the Black Cube with the Tesseract, that whole thing. Those are intertwined symbols.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I see the ritual as being a breeding program.
It's that too, right? Can it be both? I don't know.
No, it can. Yeah.
Here's Trump in the Tesseract. Let's see if I can.
Well, these are the breeders, right? They're the breeders, and then they can be killed and abused once they've done their purpose, just like cattle. These are cattle, right? These are not human beings for the.
It's legit.
Tesseract. Yeah,
the square within the square. That's the whole thing. Look at the gold. God. It's like the Aztec temples, you know what I mean? Like, okay. Anyway, so Trump was part of it, and of course they put Trump in charge during when this is going to be released, you know what I mean? They had like Clinton, when Clinton was in charge, the leader of the House or whatever was the gym coach.
Right, that was Bush.
Oh, it was Bush. Okay.
They had the guy wrestling coach.
I thought
how about the Penn? There was a Penn State, right? That whole thing. The coach, right?
Yeah, right. That dude also wasn't he in the files?
And this was a major, and that was a major operation.
Hastert.
Yeah,
Hastert, right?
Hastert,
yeah. Dennis Hastert. They were like giving him, and I've got a photograph of everybody clapping when they gave Hastert his portrait for whatever,
Wow.
and there was a staff with the eagle, like the
Wow.
Roman staff, like in his portrait, and it had like a caduceus snake around it. It was like,
Wow,
holy
that's really
shit.
dark. I mean, he
Yeah,
did a great job covering everything up.
yeah.
I mean, they should have.
Of
It's
course,
just
like, and they were like ruling during Clinton and all, like, and all those, they were fully in charge, and nobody questioned anything. The Satanic Panic was like something you see on Oprah, like, oh yeah,
Right.
okay, nobody cares about that, and and all the financiers and the Bear Stearns crap and all of that in 2008, like they were fully doing all of it, and it makes me think of Karl Rove's quote where he says, uh, "We are the actors of history, and you, studiously as you will, you can just look at what we do while we go do something else, while keep studying all of our evil over there, fools. We're already on this thing, so it's I mean, we're gonna be studying this evil for a while, I'm sure."
yeah.
This here with this Epstein stuff.
Well, no, and one thing that understand is that people, a lot of things that people are discounted, like okay, read your astrology column. No, I mean they use movements of planets over even hundreds of years, if
Yes.
sometimes even thousands of years, for particular predictive
Right.
potentialities. And so, in a certain way, Philip K. Dick said this. I mean, he definitely did a lot of speed, for sure. But he said that we're still living in Rome. Okay, but we're not living in Rome. We're living in the ancient Near East and these things. This is still this particular, and these are the rulers, right? So I mean, now we're not talking about the local people worshiping a temple, but the people in charge of that, and even the mythological symbols. This stuff is all interconnected, right? Even the Greek, Roman, these are also myths, right? These are enclosing domes or energetic fields or whatever you want to call it, that most people don't even know what is going on around them, but these are things that are invoked. And so people are left as bereft of their true power and true knowledge. But then it's literally like it is, they're following this direct path based on the goal, right? And you can see in Epstein files, right? The goal: create the master race. Okay,
Right.
everybody else can be eliminated. And so in the AI pipe dream, which just I'm not a scientist or mathematician, but came out recently. Oh, if by 2028 America's entire infrastructure could collapse if it's run off of AI. Well, it didn't take a scientist to tell you that. I tried to get my car insurance or something, man. I can tell you AI. I don't want that running the nuclear power plants,
No.
But these are all. This is all connected directly with the Epstein stuff, is it not, William?
Oh, no question. It all overlaps. He's involved in all kinds of different pots and investments. And somebody hasn't really done I mean, there hasn't been a show to my knowledge. He has all of his like financial documents of all of his investments. They've probably been sold off, but we'll go into some of them today. Nobody's done a huge forensic accounting yet, but he's involved. And you mentioned the Satanic Panic. This woman Loftus, who was a expert for the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, was on the board of a guy named Krauss, who ran the Origins school. She was on that too. So she's around them, and she's a total false memory syndrome foundation with Jolly West. Like literally, so you're seeing these guys are real smart about a lot of this stuff. And he talks about Mesmer. I can bring up the Mesmer files and stuff like that. He knows, and we have the occult stuff in this too, where they're talking about Kundalini and Tantra, which is a form of arguably Eastern mysticism, sex magic.
That's the basis of like all sex magic. They like the Western stole it from the Eastern, basically. It
Right,
all
they
goes
stole a
back to
lot.
Tantra, that, yeah.
So
So because I just to bring up Tantra to say, because I've spent a lot of time in India. I've I started to learn Sanskrit. I can read stuff. So Tantra, it simply means machine or vehicle. It's a type of so tantra. I mean, there's a right hand, left hand. There's a lot of it has to do with generating virtual reality spectrums in your own mind, complete vast universes, right? Based on the entire they say the involution and evolution of all matter, all material existence. So it goes to that source, and so there's different things, but primarily it is a vehicle. It is technique and practices, and so to say that, like say in India, though, I mean, there's parts of tantra that they're quite interesting, they're quite philosophical, etc. Right? There's sex magic, but then there's also this whole side, right, of very very powerful black occultic type of ritual stuff. I mean, even say the Agoris, right? They're a type of tantra that means without fear, right? I went to their temple. One of the things they do is they have the bodies on the burning ghat, right? The body's being cremated. You run up and when the skull pops at a certain point, the body. I've seen this, right? I used to sit there and hang out and watch the bodies burn in Benares in the burning ghat. When the brain pops, they run up and you eat the brain out of the skull. That's the kind of thing.
For what reason? Like, is it supposed to be power?
Yeah, power, and then it's like you're transcending all matter or material existence, but it's sort of it's a level of energetic hacking, right? So you're trying to go to the source code of the universe, utilizing your own body and other types of vehicles. So primarily it's a vehicle for power. And so in this time, tying into this stuff, I mean, because a lot of just like Kabbalah, right, you get very watered down, like Madonna, ray of light. Oh, I like a virgin. Okay. Not like a virgin, man, like the whore of Babylon.
That's what's going on with these guys. They are involved in body fluids and stuff like that. And it's
just
bad.
like Pizzagate, just like Marina Abramovich, and like it's funny that it seems like Pizzagate was almost like a test run to see how we would react, and then
it feels like it, doesn't it? And how they could cover it up.
Yeah, they covered it up quite nicely, and now this is kind of getting out of their hands, this Epstein stuff.
I think this is burning through the population like wildfire. I don't think anybody believes what they're listening to on the news, and it's almost like it's like a dystopian hellscape in a way, because they're just pounding you like with nothingness and not even talking about it, where everybody on X and like in their personal life, like my personal life circle, everybody's talking about it. My kids are talking about it. They know everything. They're spending time going to bars and talking about it.
That's great, dude. That's great.
So they're like, whoa, this is bad. And like the women are talking about it. And now the Congress people are jumping ship. They're jumping like the party lines now, Mace and Massier. And I think they're going to do it en masse. I think there's going to be, honestly, I think there'll be another congressional, not hearing, but some more legislation to get more of the files and get more redactions and more things out to the public.
This is awesome.
Because when we talked to last time,
like
Nancy Mace left a freaking comment on one of my things. Congressperson Mace.
Wow. I'm so glad that they're finally listening.
So she's watching my stuff.
That's
I put
great.
something. I think this is the top 10 documents. Was the Geoffrey Berman co-conspirator document, and then he got fired, right? So you see these cover-ups. Like Berman wrote 2 documents. A lot of people don't know this. Like I've gone through too much of these files in the last 2 weeks, but he wrote 2 documents. One is a co-conspirators, and one's a financial crimes one, which is totally freaking redacted. Like it's just all black. So like what he's saying is like these big corporations are involved in the trafficking and
right. Not just
it's so bad, guys. It's like, worse than anything. It makes Pizzagate look like child's play. This is so bad. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. Like it's just like they lied about everything. There's like infants and like little 5-year-old kids. Like we'll get into that today. That's a warning to people. If you want to not sleep for like 3 days, turn this off and go away, honest to God, because we're going to get into pitch black evil, man.
Dude, that notebook of the survivor who had multiple babies taken away. She got the sonogram picture in there. I cried full on. Like I just couldn't take it. Like she's describing seeing his little hands as they take him away, and she's writing, "Where's the baby? Where is Ghislaine?" It's really like, holy shit. From the experiencer perspective, it is as evil as, I mean, as anything else I talk about on my show. Goddamn. But
it's important that you mentioned that, Sean, because that case, the abuse took place in the past, and then the young girl wrote a 16-year-old scrapbook. This is like her trauma scrapbook in the voice and the delivery of a 16-year-old. And that was a recent civil case. What that means is like they got the information and they were moving in that direction. I don't know whether people were paid off. There's tons of payoffs that we can go into later too. That civil case is, I think it was 2021 or 2022. So this is like they're looking at these criminal acts from a civil perspective. And recently with great lawyers, like we're going to get into like the good lawyers, like everybody wants to talk, which is justifiably about corrupt lawyers or people who may not be in the up and up. There's like a good people out there, Marsh and Christensen and this other woman whose name I can't remember, Freeman. Well, mention their names. I won't mention the victims, but there's actually good lawyers who, like this one lawyer specializes in going after child pornography stuff. So she's doing it from a civil side, and
awesome.
Some of those cases, man, they are.
And then we'll get disclosure, right? We'll be able to see.
Well, I'm going to disclose it right now tonight, so hopefully we'll get to that.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I don't know why the civil cases are in this file. I don't know how they got lumped in together, and I don't know why the lawyers let that out, but they've done the public. However, when we're going to talk about and publicize it, it's going to go out and people will understand it. I'll put in the Bates number. That Bates number is these funny numbers that accompany all of these files. It always starts with the predicate EFTA, and you can go and download these. EFTA is the Epstein, what was it? Something Transfer Act. Was it? What does the FTA stand for? EFTA.
Epstein Files.
Epstein File Transfer Act.
Transparency, I think.
Transparency. Right.
I don't know why can't remember that. Anyway. So you can see a lot of these files are extant.
Well, that little girl, described that journal. I mean, that's what I was saying about the breeding, right? So it's like you breed an animal, right? Literally,
right. That's Eyes Wide Shut. That's the end of Eyes Wide Shut.
But the other thing is, as they're committing the erasure of human genetic code, especially in Europe, man, Juba daycare is going strong here. Fine. But I'm saying that like these are entire bloodlines that are being wiped out. Okay. They're destroying a lot. I mean, at least the goal, and you can look at Europe today, look at all the stuff, look at the amount of abortions, look at all the dysgenic stuff that's going on. So it's like Bill Gates' doomsday seed vault. Preserve this genetic code.
He's in the document saying, how can we get rid of all the poor people? And so what you see is the sophisticated. So this is like seeing behind the dark curtain of the wizard, because they financed and supported a lot of these transgender clinics, transgender theorists, all that evil stuff. These people are doing it. They're evil. And so then their finances put into that. So money's here, money's there. I think we saw in the last show, Trivers got a $30,000 check from Epstein, right? Keep them going. So all this stuff, they're just like little tendrils of the global, octopus or whatever, so to speak. So right. It's super dark like that. Like, and it's they always like, there's the repeated statements in these files, like it can't be traced back to you. So they're cognizant of like doing things through shell companies or LLCs that are very benign sounding. Southern Trust Company, for example, like who owns that? It doesn't say Jeffrey Epstein, account or whatever, family trust or anything. It doesn't say that. So it's just super dark. It's super dark. I mean,
no wonder Kubrick has been trying to talk to us about it since Lolita, trying to put this global.
Yeah. And I actually, one of the things you mentioned at the intro is the mass shootings. There was a transgender mass shooter. He was acting like the Joker and killed like 8 people in Canada. So I think that this is part of the transgender. These Satanists are that's why Biden was doing so much Satanism and transgenderism, because it was really Satanism. That's what the culture of these guys, all of these guys.
Right. So the Genesis P. Orridge with that whole occult transgender shit.
There's actually somebody in the files who was in Eyes Wide Shut.
Wow.
That's
her.
Well, the
Mortimer worked with Stanley Kubrick and on Eyes Wide Shut.
Wow.
Man. She was probably advising him like, okay, no, we don't use that kind of mask. We use these kind of masks.
I know exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, right.
But just to stipulate it, we did the whole Manchurian Candidate series. So gender dysphoria is what used to be, right? One of the most deepest mental illnesses you can have. Because here's the thing. Okay, you could have delusions about yourself to a whole gradient. Now you have a delusion about your own physical body. You have now reached a major point of psychic break, right? And yes, you go back to Hirschfeld and all this stuff. So there's people that are, they're what? They're kinky, they're this, that, when you're an adult, it's a little bit different. When they're pushing this on children, you want to talk about the, fragmentation of personality, embedding, implanting of hypnotic coding, and basic biology, denying and destroying. Like, the transgender stuff is genocidal. You cannot, once you cut your dick off, it's not going to grow back. No matter how much, whatever supplements you take. Whatever Alex Jones.
That's the sacrifice.
Alex Jones, grow it back. No.
It's a sacrifice to the god. That's the pleasure device. You know what I mean? Or like part of your pleasure anatomy. Now you'll never feel that pleasure. And it's like a gift to the fucking dark lord that feeds on foreskins.
This woman who I just showed literally is sending emails. She's like, I was an elite. So she's a model. So like this is like procuring the woman for the ritual. I was with elite modeling agency, traveled the world, became a TV presenter, then various movies, only small parts. The last movie I did was Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. Very good friends with Prince Andrew and Sarah and the girls. And Andrew's in there with some kind of 10-year-old kid or something, a 12-year-old kid. But they didn't redact it for some reason.
There, real quick, there's a picture of Andrew with Ghislaine, and Ghislaine's wearing the Venetian mask, the domino mask. Remember that? I mean, it's been on the internet.
There you go.
Yeah, right. I think, and he's like dressed as like a sailor or something, like a naval, whatever. Sorry, didn't mean to derail you. Sorry.
No, it's all right. I mean, it's just the interesting thing that somebody's in these files who's friends with Andrew, who was in the movie Eyes Wide Shut. Like, wow, what a sync. There's also another secret society in this. I don't know if I mentioned it last time, the Zodiac Society, 12-person society, another kind of occult signifier. So that's crazy. And it involved Paul Volcker, who was literally the head of the Fed, I think under Bush was in it. Like, these are big time power players. Yeah.
And he was like really wrenching the economy. Remember that? I mean,
he like raised rates like real like a
yes, like double
evil
digits.
overlord.
Yeah.
I think they're at like 14% or something crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and do you guys remember that there was a movie where, and I think Sean, I talked to you about this, I don't know if you saw it, but basically the plot of the movie, which I think ties directly into this, is this guy's kind of, life didn't go anywhere in his life. He flies out to visit his friend who's this elite private chef for the elite, and they pay millions of dollars. And what are they? Human beings.
Right.
You saw that movie I'm talking about. But anyway, so this,
I know which one you're talking about. I don't remember.
It's on a boat, right? Or it's kind of a newer one.
No, it's a relatively newer, but I mean, he goes to this island and he's like, wow, you got everything you want. And his friend kills himself, and suddenly he gets the role. Now you have the role. Here's your salary.
Sacrifice.
But it turns out that you have to cook people. But this is what these clubs are doing, right? I mean, for sure. And just one other, semi-tangential point, but I was watching like diets, chefs for the billionaires, whatever, right? Something show out of the UK, but they're all trying to get the latest thing. What's the most exclusive exotic dish? Let's get these, at least, one out of every, 5 fishermen die trying to get these particular snails. Just to have them, just to show off. Don't get bored. Show off. Show your bling. Well, what do you think
eat
that
gold?
Yeah, but what do you think that goes to? And what's the and you see this absolutely just obscenity. Like you're gonna pay millions of dollars for a dinner just so you can brag about it to your other billionaire friends.
Right.
They're like friggin' toddlers, you know? I mean, at least but if you apply that to these types of perversion, I think exact same thing goes on. Exact same thing.
When I visited Philadelphia, I saw this steakhouse. I forget the name of the steakhouse, but it had sphinxes flanking but the doors, and the stairs, it's like stone stairs that go down, and there's like a red light. I mean, it was the most satanic shit, and like for the dark occult, for like Mariah or whatever they call it, the Sphinx represents cannibalism. It's like the peak predator, the lion eats the lesser beings. You know what I mean? So what kind of steakhouse is that? And this Philadelphia is like one of the most satanic places in America, if you really look around. Um, so they I'm sure this is a real thing. Like they have, I'm sure this it's when I was
Oh,
there, I was like staring in with total like hatred, like look at this thing, and nobody and people just walking by like nothing, like oh whatever, just a just a restaurant. And I could see this with the symbolism. I wasn't like, oh, it's them.
go look at all those fake like body eating things done by Abramovich and all that stuff. Like this is
Right.
all introductory stuff to real cannibalism. It's real. And just like you said, all this thing and all there's like famous stories of Carlos Slim. He was at one point the richest man in Mexico who started the cell phones there. And if he wanted to put a cell phone somewhere, he would literally have his tough guys come in and beat the crap out of people, tear down their house and build a cell phone and just say, move. That was that way he
Oh,
did it.
for the towers. Wow.
Yeah. And he would have these parties of like exotic animals. Like, we're going to eat a leopard tonight. We're going to eat a rhino. We're going to eat
Right.
this.
And that's
And
just like
just
medieval
murder someone.
times. They would like, like they would have a rhino head. They would like display the body parts of the feast. The red carpet is the intestines and blood of all the animals they're going to eat. And like the bigger, longer the red carpet is, and all the guests walk on all the blood and stuff to say, shows them how much work was put into this feast. Wow, look at this, and even Hollywood now, they got their red carpet.
Right. You got to remember, he traveled with his own chef. So Epstein's traveling
Right.
with his chef. Why is he so concerned about shrimp and jerky?
Yeah.
I
Well,
got to have this 8 pounds of jerky. Why don't you have your chef just make something? Like put it in the air dryer and make it.
well, this is also revelation of the method. I saw this movie, really awful movie last weekend or whatever. It's about the chef on the island. That's a different movie, right? He's chef on the island, and they all kill themselves. They're there to be killed. But this cannibalistic feeding, the Abramovich was, these are revelations of the method,
Right.
showing what is being done. Like that party, right? They have the human body cakes, right?
Right.
They're saying, this is what we're doing. Here's what it is. And in fact, there are restaurants that serve human flesh. People voluntarily give their flesh. And how about that? Have you guys seen that German documentary about the guy that ate the other person and filmed it? So this,
I heard about that.
yeah. Unfortunately, I watched it. Oh,
You have to remember too, Abramovich is connected to Yao of God. She
Right.
went down there. She believed in his spiritual power. At least that's what she said.
Just like
publicly.
Oprah.
Just like Oprah. And what is Yao of God doing? He's raping every girl he thinks is cute,
Selling
sexually
babies.
abusing her, and selling babies globally.
Mhm.
And
Who's
people-
Yao of God?
He was
John of God.
Yeah, John of God.
Yeah.
He's from Brazil. I did a show on him. I've
Okay.
done a
Yes.
couple
Yeah.
shows on him.
Yeah.
But it's he was like a medicine man, and he had this syncretic religion that sounded a lot like Blavatskyism, like Theosophy, and he believed in the ascended masters and stuff like that. So it looked kind of Christian. It had a Christian iconography, but it's really a fusing of a bunch of different stuff. And he went to jail. And like people who said, this guy's an original gangster. Like this is all fake. If you get, he will try to get these girls and just like, like systematically abuse them. Like he's trying to draw energy. Like it becomes something other than sex. And I think that's kind of the same thing about Epstein. is that the sex becomes like I'm going to get this person and traumatize them and leave my mark in their brain, almost like Hubbard or something like that.
What it is they're
Domination.
it's soul cracking and taking their energy. So you're taking the life force of this human being. You are, and somehow you're making some type of voluntary agreement they're making along the way, whether they're conscious of it or not, right? At least with Epstein, right? That just gave it a lot more power. And so you're harvesting the life energy and life force plus the you got this again, you get this superhuman power. I'm a god. I can create and destroy all life. This is where they're at. I'm a god. I am God. I am beyond God. I create, and this is their mentality. But this thing is that with all the stuff they're doing, they have to balance, they have to have energy sources for it. Right. And so it's more about the power, there's the abuse, the psychological buzz, but it's also I think you could say sacrificial rituals to their God, as well as the soul cracking and extraction of not just like you can kill someone and not kill their soul, but they're trying to kill the soul of the person. That's even sometimes worse
They're
than
all
physically killing
traumatized.
them.
Every one of the girls is traumatized. They didn't like go in and go, I had a really great, experience with Jeff. It's part of the whole thing. This is an incredible document. This is EFTA 00781-921. He's with Hannity. So Hannity's never disclosed his connection to Epstein. This is from 2018. It's fairly recent.
I'm doing it live.
Close, but it's like that same guy.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then he's talking with Woody Allen's in here. And then he's like, Woody Allen would be thrilled to meet me. There's all kinds of meetings. They're always trying to meet up with people.
Yeah, they were trying to make Woody Allen meet with Joe Rogan, too.
Yeah, all that stuff. And they're talking about Idi Amin, who ate people's hearts. So
right.
this is like
a
the
true
theme.
Cannibal, right.
He was a true cannibal. And he says, I think he's like, Jeff, GEE iTunes is Epstein. He says, he didn't just cause heartburn, he ate them. And then Woody Allen says, hearts. And then, thanks, he responds. And then he goes back, at least I'm thinner. And then Woody Allen says, because you also eat the bones, improve providing fiber. And then he responds back, I don't like waste.
So we're going to look more into these cannibalism ones. There's more of this cannibalism.
Oh, tons. Oh, yeah. This is just like a scratching surface. They're talking about it like it's a joke. Like, this is not supposed to be disclosed, right?
And everybody still loves Woody Allen after all that shit, too.
I don't know. The women don't. Those things were his. I've done a show with Roberta Glass about him and his daughter, Ronan Farrow, I think, or Farrow. Dude, I wouldn't leave that guy around kids at all. I wouldn't leave any of these people around kids. Like, they're horrible
If
people.
there's anything we've learned, watch your kids, watch your wife.
Well,
freaking ghouls.
You see this stuff. It's just like skimming through that page you're at, but like jerky will be with me when I get to LSJ. I can come tomorrow and take care of white tuna if you'd like. What is that? And these are guys, they're not going to be eating beef jerky and they're not going to be eating white turkey. Call blank, she will give you massage. She looks better than, quote, shrimp anyways. Good with the massages. And then next one, hairy fish. You're joking, I hope. Response, nope, goyim. Pizza and grape soda tomorrow for lunch. We can also buy tefillin for Woody.
Tefillin is what they do, that magic like Saturn box they put on their forehead.
Oh,
wow.
Dude.
And
so this is like, whoa.
Grape soda is gang rape.
Wow.
So he's like, they're saying they don't matter. They're goys. Let's gang rape them. That's what that interchange means.
Talmud says it's okay. So.
And there's a picture of Jeffrey with the full Talmud right behind his head.
Right.
He literally has the encyclopedia of the Talmud, which
is
their holy book. They're holy
which
book.
is a bunch of Satanists agreeing on this. This is good to do. It's like, it's not like, oh, they don't even feign that it's from God. It's just from some rich guys that say this is life now. It's that's how they really want true government to work. Is just
It's
for
there.
the
They want to be the
oligarchs
true
to
government.
decide.
They want to be the true government.
Yeah,
That's why he's
disseminate.
behind everything, manipulating everybody.
That's why the new
And
morality. That's why they're pushing. Like, I mean, they already they got the gay thing is all been accepted now. Everybody's okay with it. And then the trans thing, they're pushing hard of the trans thing, and it's kind of almost falling off the rails, but still, And then what's next after that? It's gonna be the kids thing. Then after that, it's gonna be animals.
It's going to be made. It's going to be made also where your wife.
Initiate all of us, guys.
Right.
So they have. I think I alluded to some of the shows where they have all these like mental health initiatives where your neighbor can friggin' call and say, "I think Joe is wacky." They can come and they'll detain you. And these are so at least in Massachusetts that's live, but this so that. Where's the maid? Right, maid, medical assistance in dying. Just kill him, right?
Right.
Just I'm gonna, and they're giving the worms, right? So basically, for them, we're not. A friend of mine who's a private jet pilot for billionaires. He said they do not see us or anyone. We are literally not human. We are, And we're not even like, it's like people that hate dogs, being around dogs. I mean, they literally see you are not a human being. We are in a different reality, right? And that's the black cube on the third eye, right? Pineal gland going into the Saturn. And then, of course, Goya's painting, right? Saturn eats his young. That is that not, this is the
spirit cannibalism.
So scared of that painting.
Cannibalistic ideas. We're going to get into some great paintings tonight, too. Because that's one theme in Eyes Wide Shut too, is all the background art.
Right. Yes. Thank you, William, for saying that. Here, wait. Before we get off the maid topic, I just put a link in the chat there for the private chat. It's Right to Life News. I mean, people are going to say, well, it's not New York Times. But anyway, doctors in Canada propose euthanasia for babies with disabilities now. So now they're aiming it at children. Oh, if they're going to grow up to be retarded, so kill them. That's the new thing. So it's already.
Hey, man, you can get made just on request. I'm depressed. Oh, would you like medically assisted suicide?
But a child can't like request, like, so the child needs protection. You know what I mean? And if it comes out of the womb, they can still kill it. It's still going to be legal. Like even like pre-womb, they go all the way. Like Hillary Clinton says it's okay. Partial birth abortions. I mean, that is the most horrific thing. Like a pair of scissors is the murder weapon, like in the back of the head. Like, I mean,
she's in on it. They all know this stuff, man. She's these people. I mean, they're all friends. Like it's crazy. But CBS, this new CBS iteration, they put Dershowitz and Hillary Clinton together.
Jesus Christ.
Dershowitz is in real trouble. These people are in real trouble because once people realize how bad it is, like you're taking a 5-year-old into the mansion where you are all the time.
Right.
And you're raping that. We're going to see the pictures tonight.
Did you see how Tom Hanks ran away to Greece the day the Epstein files were released?
On the 30th of January of this year?
Yeah, I think so. And then Oprah ran away too. There was like 5 of them.
They all act guilty. That's another thing. Another thing.
Yeah. Well, so we have our hero, right? The Canadian hero, the guy that murdered his own daughter, who was, I think she was a teenager who had, whatever disabilities, and he killed his own daughter. And there's this whole movement. He's a hero. He put her out of her misery. He murdered his daughter because she had disabilities. And he was promoted as this great hero. And this narrative is pushing forward the whole maid thing. And here's the thing. Like, you can be really, I'm going to swear, I normally don't. You can be completely fucked up. But you know what? As long as you have all your limbs attached, you're probably going to get out of it at some point. And people that turn their back, they commit suicide. Like how many people, I mean, there were people that said, they were about to kill me with a mate, right? They're about to kill me. And then whatever, someone kind of intervened and stopped them. He said, "Now I'm fine." And because of this, I would have been dead. I would have lost my life.
Right.
And, it's just like, well, I feel like a woman. Hi, I feel like a woman today. Okay, I do. Maybe I do. I think I'm a very feminine man. But what does that mean? Oh, let's go get surgery. You have this impulse decision, the impulse decision for death. This is now implanting the model through the narrative framing in the population, right? Including cannibalism in how many shows in the past 10 years, past 2 years, past year that have featured cannibalism. Either
There was like a whole show with Santa Maria something barbecue.
Yeah.
or Yellow Jackets. I mean, it's all over the place, man.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Santa Clarita Diet. I think.
Yeah. Good memory. That's right. Yeah. I didn't watch it.
Me neither. No.
Guys, there are
Crap.
things in the
Hollywood
files
crap.
too where journalists are getting, they're getting coined for writing certain, things. So, and Bannon, and the whole Bannon and Epstein show is just a whole nother show, or the
You mean the
interchanges.
interview that you're talking about?
Pardon me?
The interview that Bannon did.
Well, that too, yeah. But
Okay.
their communications with each other. He's like, "Okay, Bannon, we're gonna help you get started," and
Right.
he's like setting Bannon. He calls Bannon "good boy," like a dog, like "good boy, Bannon,
Wow.
good boy." Like, wow, it's just so like I would never let somebody talk to me like that, or even text me like that. But yeah, so he does that, and then there's just other instances where like, oh, thanks for that 5K. That article's bouncing around here now. You know what I mean? So like, you think that these are organic? Like, I'm getting up in the morning, I want to write this article. It's not. It's Jeffrey Epstein's paying for it. And I think that's happening a lot in the culture too. It's like the amount of money that's being dispersed is crazy. And it's
And
all
he's-
probably based on fake art and sex trafficking.
Right.
Remember Hunter Biden's painting sales?
Good point.
And how did he even make those? I mean, that guy, I mean, he had sex with like multiple family members on camera. The Hunter Biden laptop, that also.
Yeah, he was supposedly having sex with his brother's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Underage.
And when he
All
has,
part of it. You're right.
he has video of it. He filmed it. He had video of that. It was I saw that. I got that.
And the FBI
files.
covered up the freaking.
No. I got. There was at one point you could download all the actual. I downloaded the whole laptop data, and there. Yeah, there wasn't. It's not alleged. He did it for sure.
The life of a
Delaware is the home
researcher,
of-
downloading
Delaware
and
is-
watching the worst shit.
Delaware is the home of the DuPont family, and that DuPont heir raped his 3-year-old, and they didn't even put him in jail.
Right. People should listen to Jay Parker about Delaware. He's from Arden, Delaware, and he's a generational abused family, Satanism, both sides, mother and father, and they live in Delaware on purpose because that's like a center, yeah, like just look at the Bible that Joe Biden got sworn in on. That's not a normal book. You know what I'm saying? Jay could tell you a lot of things, and everybody should pray for Jay right now. He fell down again, and
I'm sorry.
he needs
That's what Delaware, at one point, that was the kind of center point in the United States for international business, remember? So all these,
Right.
because you didn't have to declare who was the actual owner of any entity. So it had secrecy.
right.
It's a small state.
We're getting. There are some kind of dicey comments a bit on the chat, just because I'm.
You want to check the chat?
No,
Let's check
that's
the
just
chat. We're
fine.
an hour
Just let it go by.
through.
No,
Tom
I'm saying, but
Cruise
someone
is
said,
on it.
Mae
Parker is the
Russell,
man, right?
Mae Russell was better. Right wing conspiracy theorists. Look, at least on my point, I'm so far beyond what you call left-right paradigm.
Right.
Okay, this is an absolute illusion. All right, and you know what? And if you're gonna say, I mean, I grew up. I mean, my grandfather was a famous socialist, California, whatever. If you're working actually for the people or whatever it's left, okay, great. If you're, pushing ideologies, if you're pushing destruction, if you're pushing self, genocidal behavior like we see all throughout Europe. There are women getting raped every day. This is literally, I mean, you watch these videos, you go through these cities, you know, I mean, it's amazing because some of these places I've been, right? And you look at them in not, this all started around the Syrian war when the real thing came. A lot of cities in Europe are just destroyed. This, and women are being raped and murdered all the time, and people all the time. And this is going by. So if you want to say this is right wing, you know, I won't say any swear words. Beep, beep. You know, wake up. Look at the world around you. You know, don't be a fool because this is now not, there's nothing conspiratorial about this. This is in your face. Everything, you know, William and whatever we've done, you know, could you imagine this coming out? All this stuff we said, here it is that ties all these things together, and it's here, right? It's not, you know what I mean? It's not, you know, you're not just getting one little piece of data here and there. No, it is right here in your face. So I think if, you know, people need to get off of these divisions because no, right, yes, left, right, and wrong. What's right, what's wrong, period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Moral standpoint. Yeah. And, you know, Hans, be aware that there's a lot of people, we were just talking about it earlier, that are falling out of the illusion, and they're, you know, they're trying to find people that are speaking, and so they're shopping around, and, you know, we're above the shoppers too. Like, I mean, so like, don't fret, you know, like these people, they still have many illusions to go, you know. Statism is a big one, and it takes a while to get free of that, you know, because it's such an easy way to agitate and get us, like, if it's only half and half, it gets almost all the population with just like one or two arguments in the media. So it's and these people, they're trying to find a solution, but they want that same language that they're used to hearing, you know, the left right thing, and they want us to be like Tim Pool or some shit, like I am the boot or whatever the fuck, you know. But we're obviously we're above that, and God bless you, Hans, for saying so. Because
Well, no,
yeah,
I'm not a person. There's no response to that person. I've seen the reason I get. I mean, you know, you're looking at, you know, absolute destruction of human life and
yes,
destruction of the potential of the human race on the planet.
right,
We are at that point where this is not just speculative. Okay. Now, I don't think it's going to happen, but it's not about that person. It's
right.
just that, you know, the whole, what you see with this is that they're all involved in it. Okay. So,
Right.
and they all do the same things, man. You know, it's the same build, this, that. It's like mud wrestling. You know, even mud wrestling or whatever. I mean, WWF is more real, but I mean, it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's a rigged game, but it's just that when, you know, those blinders, just in my estimation, right? It's a time to just to take that off and start to see the actual world around you in a positive way, right? You celebrate life, celebrate everything. But these things are gone. They let, what was this come from? It comes from the French Revolution, left side of the house, right side of the house. This is the left, right. You know, there used to be multiple different parties with all kinds of complex mosaics of viewpoints. It became a binary. Okay. And this is the illusion of democracy that we live under because, you know, I can vote for A or I can vote for A or I can vote for A, you know, and that's it. So,
Yeah.
It's interesting. I've done a number of shows on this already, and it's like like the branch of philosophy is epistemology. Like people are really trying to contextualize this, and they're having trouble. They really are. Is this like this? This is a left wing plot or a right wing, or Trump really wanted this out? It's for his benefit. He's not in this. He is all over these files, guys. So he's lying. They're all lying. But it is interesting to see people try to filter or perceive this. Like, how did this come out? I don't think they knew how bad it was. People don't have time to read it. These are busy people's lives, and the people, what happened, the whole strain of what happened was Trump and Bondi and Patel and Bongino and the whole Republican Party got in because people wanted to see Epstein. And these are all easily ascertainable statements these guys have said. So many podcasts. Yeah, I think the Epstein files should be released. And then they got in and they started reading them. And they saw these, the list is like a distraction. It's a red herring. But they keep talking about what the list. The list isn't it. The network is it. And these files are it. That's way more important, like by a factor of 80 bazillion. In March, the FBI has this document. It's in these documents that we got to redact everything. We got to redact, like, so there's an internal battle there is a documentary record of this internal battle that they're trying to redact every celebrity, every president, everybody of importance from these files. So they started this redaction. Pam Bondi says it's on my desk. They're saying this stuff in the public. When they slow roll it, that's when the Democrats figure out something's in there that could be damaging to these people because they're not putting all these files out. So then they pass the Epstein Transparency Act, right? So that's what happened last year. Massey crosses the thing, and then they have to start, because it's a matter of law, they have to start abiding by the law. The guy Blanche, who is the Deputy Attorney General's the point guy, and then they just start dropping stuff. And I don't think they tried to redact stuff, and whoever's in that office didn't know people were going to start putting the files together. And that's what they did. And so like it's still slow rolled. They're trying, even the way that the data is put out, it's put out almost like in a 1960s or 70s format where you only get 10 responses at a time. It's deliberate. They're deliberately putting like a data, sphincter on it, so it's not coming out properly. Like the data analysis, like software and sophistication these days is so intense, where you can do spreadsheets and Venn diagrams and all kinds of connections with it that they didn't do. They just chose to do the crappiest job, and they don't know the import, the totality. They're going to find out. So that's really kind of the background of what led up to January 30th, which included that other 5. So there's really 3.5 million files, included the other 500,000 files they dropped, I think, in late December.
And one thing just to say about this is that there's so much detail, and even like you do a meta reading, of who's talking to who, and you probably even build this out into networks and various activities that are going on. There's so many layers looking at financial transactions and whatever. There's, you could probably start to flesh this out and even tie this into other known networks, right? In Australia and Europe.
They're gonna do it. There's one outside of Adelaide that they wrote about in this, and they had this huge document, and it's another sex trafficking ring. It's incredible. It's just one node, one EFTA document. So.
Reminds me of the octopus. That's such that was such a great book, and just what an interesting, Danny Casolaro, right? So he touched one nerve of this, which ties into the NSLAW software, right? Which was the sort of the original AI modeling. So they had functional AI in the 1970s. Okay.
Yeah. The Promise.
No, before Promise, they had, because even I was, okay, I won't, no more personal stuff, but I was, in ARPANET, DARPANET when I was like 12 years old and stuff. So I was in the hacking very young age, but this stuff was and is like the original artificial intelligence was devised, and they had people falling in love with it. This is back in the 70s. It's coming out of the cybernetics movement, right? So, but all this is directly intertwined. But just back to the left-right thing, just, who is more of a god to the left wing besides Lenin, Trotsky, the Permanent Revolution, Noam Chomsky, right? I thought this guy is great. Everything he says is great, with he does Ericksonian hypnosis, actually. I won't do a Noam Chomsky imitation.
Does he really do it, or are you joking?
No, he does. His pausing, he absolutely. Listen to Noam Chomsky
so he knows it.
carefully.
Wow.
Absolutely, he does. He does it. And you'll see Terry Gross kind of similar diction. You can find this type of diction. It's cadence, it's emphasis of specific words and pattern flow. So one of the things is within that, and there's various types of cues, right? And and there's also like where you create sort of you say something very complicated that people will kind of get a little bit confused about. Boom, program it. Yeah, no, absolutely. But Chomsky, I mean, right there at the heart of this, right? And who shut down the left on JFK and on 9/11 was Chomsky. It doesn't really matter who shot JFK. I don't care. Let's go in the street.
Same theme on the right? Shapiro does the same thing.
Bob Tuskin asked him about Building 7, and he was like, "You're stupid for thinking it's a conspiracy." He was like telling Bob some, he was basically making fun of him for even thinking that the government would lie about 9/11 and like just shut up. Basically, it was there's a video somewhere on the internet. Bob posted it. But the left right thing, people really should. I mean, I talked about him before. Mark Passio, a friend of mine, he's an anarchist and he promotes anarchy as well as like exposing the Satanism. And he talks about the worldwide network, that's being exposed right now, and he's been talking about it for like 18 years or something on his podcast, What on Earth is Happening. And we get a little peek at it, but he's been talking about, people should really look into his work, and this, because that way he can help you to find anarchy, and then from that you can come at the perspective of like logic, looking at how this is working and what is actually being done, what is the fruits of these evil deeds, and what is the symbolism that they're using, to figuring out the code, basically, to understand the reality, so this is just, I mean, I don't know, he should be here talking with us. I think that would be great, because like really it's, he was being groomed for the Club of Rome, and this, Epstein was talking about how he was a member of the Trilateral Commission, and these guys, these circles are not unknown to us. We know all this stuff, we just have to recognize, they also do the sex trafficking and they also do the cannibalism, and they trade in blackmail, and you can actually cognize it when you realize that they have a philosophy of Satanism where they see humanity as prey and them as predators, and they worship themselves as gods, and we are goyim, like we were saying earlier, um, so anyway, I just want to say that like if you can get the anarchy first, then you won't fall into this left right stuff that they do, because really it's left right is on a different level. Anarchy is beyond the illusions, and it's not I can do whatever I want, it's not the Crowley thing. It's no masters, no slaves. That's what it means, so if we agree that we own ourselves, then we agree anarchy is the way, because no one else can own me. I do, but anyway, I'm not gonna keep going. I don't want to go off track, but that's a big part of it, like for us to cognize these things. And they use the distraction of the left right to make us fling us off course. I mean, I was watching the regular news and that's all they talk about. That's, they're covering up for Trump. Like, oh, this guy's just, they hate, and like James Evan Pilato says that Trump and Taylor Swift are the main drivers of our economy, like the entire like media. So really like that hatred that keeps you not looking at the reality. It makes you like hate the other like you, and then we're divided, and then the Satanists keep doing what they're going to do. I don't mean to be on a soapbox. All right, I'm going to shut up.
No, well, one of the, I mean, I, initially when I first, whatever. I counted a lot of different things, but when I first started doing this stuff, I really didn't. I thought of it as conspiratainment, right? I think it's interesting. I'll look at it. I'll talk about it. I am not gonna think this is real in my daily life. I'm just gonna go about my business and just whatever. Even though it's there, you know what I mean. I just keep a little bit of a separation. It's a little bit harder to do that. I think that there's good people, in the government. These are complex systems. There's all different layers of dynamics we may not be aware of, even though there's a lot of these governing impacts of, for example, you get the nodal juncture in a particular position of power, and it may be the undersecretary of this, but that's the person who actually is filtering all the information, right? So these nodal points of power, but it's I think we don't what they are leading us towards and what has been ginned up, right, in terms of the pipeline of one of the things is civil war, social collapse, people completely just losing their ground and just going maniacal in this net. I think we really absolutely want to avoid that. This is being predictively programmed for us, potentially, right? These are all potential states. I mean, but the key is that just be there in the world. Once you realize, wait, it's kind of like They Live. You're wearing the glasses all the time. Okay, well,
Right.
but you still, you stay grounded in the thing is that the truth, a lot of these things are being imposed on a magical level, meaning that they're being imposed as energetic potentialities of the future that we're being steered towards, like the transhumanism, COVID. The thing is, the positive thing is a lot of they played a lot of cards. They did a few like hold them and fold them, like, oh, I'm going to throw it out. Like COVID was a big throwdown, man.
Yeah.
That didn't work.
Yeah,
Now
they had to change the definitions and stuff. Go ahead. Sorry.
but the amount of damage done by that. But I bet William, right? We probably even see people connect with that whole COVID thing in this.
It's a central component. Gates, planning for pandemics, Wolf, Metabiota, it's all in here.
Right.
It's people haven't gotten to it yet because they're just trying to grasp the enormity.
It's funny. We were talking about just last year. We were talking about three of us were talking about Civil War, those movies with Brett. Remember, we did the show talking about, oh, this is where they're pushing us, and this is what. Look at this movie, and that Left Behind, the other movie that Obama produced. That's oh man, they're hoping is going to crack it open. But is this going to make the Civil War? This Epstein release? You think that? I don't know.
This is a Harper's Ferry Fort Sumter event. There's no
right. Yeah.
You guys want to get into some of these comments? Or
Yes,
you want to
please.
ignore them?
Okay. Yeah, comments.
We are at the 1 hour, 12-minute mark.
If
There's 330 people listening. Thanks, everybody.
Wow. That's
for
great.
listening.
It's a lucky
Fascinating
number.
topic.
Yeah,
You have to connect the dots in the right connection. A metaphor that's true. Let's see. Roman Vatican. We're going to talk about that here in a minute once we get to the
Awesome.
slides.
Yeah,
if we can get that. Thousands of victims. Yes, there's tens of thousands. I think some of them don't. Some of the Juarez. I'm going to show the document about the Juarez connections in the slides. How did they get rid of all the bodies? Well, we know that they ordered 6 55-gallon drums the same day that Epstein got indicted in 2018. They ordered 6 55-gallon drums of hydrochloric acid. It's in there.
Wow. So that's just since both, I guess Sean and I are both here in Ohio, and Ohio, of course, down. In fact, I was there on the estate years ago when I was like doing landscaping in college. We went that Epstein. It's like an entire city, man. It's like that road going into his. It's like a country. It's vast.
At
least for Wexner.
Right? Wexner, yeah, Wexner. So Wexner ties into the mega group. The mega group is the foundation of 9/11, among other things, right? And so and of course Maria Farmer, who was there at the estate, and Wexner is of course a very exceptionally powerful person. As I think I mentioned last show, there was a number of murders, and Bob Fortakis, who's doing great work on that. Unfortunately, he got vaxxed, and he's not the same. He's listening, I don't know, but sorry. And he's a left wing guy, and he was doing the work on that. But this is right here, and these are these nexus, and this ties. This is like the head of the. I mean, this is all the octopus, right? I think. I mean, we can pull these strands apart, but I just want to stress it like this: the mega group, Wexner, Epstein. These are. You remember the mega group, William?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's Spielberg, Wexner, Tisch family. I think there's a lot. They're all pretty much Jews. I don't think there's one non-Jew in that whole squad.
Spielberg had to be mentioned.
I mean, that's a whole nother show. It's
Yeah,
not good.
really.
It's just another makes you sick. These guys are freaks. This stuff validates the other like infant child porn scandals. Like you're like, okay, now I get it. Okay, they are capable of this stuff. It's blatant. I think they are sacrificing people in the ocean. It's a satanic. I wouldn't be surprised if SFK. We're going to get into scopolamine here in a minute. Ties into SFK. Ties feels this is an ancient thing. I think you're right. It probably goes all the way back to the Middle East. It's Moloch. Always on point, Hans says hog farts, fraternitas saturni. Yes, that's it. The Vatican's tied to that. That's correct. I don't know what that means.
Church of Satan with
Church of Satan with F.
I don't know what F. But LaVeyan Satanism is just one of the rungs of the ladder. It's an aggregator. Mark explains about how it scoops up all the psychopaths from the population so that they can use them as worker bees for the higher cult.
The Aztecs actually did eat people. There are records in the record of Bernal Diaz that they had soups where you could eat cut up little babies. So they were
the Aztecs were the. I mean, if that's also talk about the Near East, ancient Near Eastern Canaanites and Phoenicians and etc. and all these things. Yes. But the Aztecs were major with their pyramidal sun temples. I mean, Apocalypto. I mean, this stuff they did human sacrifice on a daily basis, if not more. And they had the same thing with the elites, and they were cannibals, and they were completely in. Again, I just recommend everybody watch Apocalypto again. That's the world they want almost to guide us towards.
Cannibals for power. That same whole mentality of consuming human flesh for power.
They fed them psychedelic mushrooms, the victims first, and then they gave them this whole idea about what they're gonna. The afterlife and shit.
Well, they thought the sun would fall or something if they didn't do their rituals right. The whole planet was dependent upon their sacrifices. At least that was I don't know about the masters of it. But.
I mean, wasn't that the same thing with the Egyptians? When the sun would go into the underworld, they would have to fight. That's the. Anyway, I'm going to stop. But
this is an NBA blogger named Henry Abbott. He draws tons of parallels between Epstein and Apollo Global. We'll get to that too, hopefully. We only have about an hour and a half left. I don't know if Tom's getting trouble from his wife. Let's see. I'm asking, why hide all this stuff? Well, it's all secret society stuff. You'd probably take secret oaths just like the Masons. It's also horrible. So they have all these inside jokes that they told each other and communications they never thought was going to be publicly on Black. Yeah, he shows up.
I mean, whether you believe it or not. So all these things I mentioned, like astrology, evoking different, dates and times, ritual symbolism, human sacrifice, etc., and revelation of the method. This is a huge way to maintain your power flow, right? So by showing everybody to what extent that's there, and I think there's also counter forces that are moving too. But I mean, I don't want to be that like you can't get that far out like why they release this stuff. But potentially too, it's again like the Abramovich stuff. I mean, here you have with that. If everybody watched in detail that whole ritual, and she's drawing all that stuff in blood. I mean, it's straight, it's straight hardcore occult black magic stuff. No question. no question. And now we have, that's the artistic, the virtual, symbolic rendition. Here's the actual evidence of the enactments. So, and I think some of this information comes out. I think also you could say there's a choice point for every person to make when they encounter information. I think you just keep going along, business as usual, turn it out, tune it out, or recognize and start to whatever level you can enact to turn this back. You know what I mean? Because I think that's also part of the flow. But it is. I mean, it's William. I mean, you've been doing this. I don't know how long, but I mean,
well, somebody mentioned Stanley Monteith. That was one of my first shows 15 years ago.
Oh, Stan, yeah.
Here. But the great Dr. Stan. Somebody says it's Milton Malone. Today, see you miss him. Hope you are well. Yeah, I'm doing all right.
He was so much fixated on Illuminati, wasn't he? But Illuminati's there
he was doing what he could from the lonely studio overlooking the Monterey Bay. If you remember his intro.
Oh yeah,
I used to listen to him all the time.
God. But no, I'm saying like this stuff. It's almost like sort of like a payback, just meaning that this here it is, right? I mean, anyways, within that, yeah. So. But I think it's an interesting thing to look at. You look at mimetic warfare, right? So this document is a form of complex mimetic warfare. Who's behind it? What are the actual objectives? I don't know. Sort of, oh, it's just revelation. It's very easy. One of the things, we don't want to end up like Omega Man, right? No.
Even normies are starting to believe, yeah, they are. People are starting to come around.
Man,
I've had people in the last couple of weeks say, man, you don't sound so like out there anymore.
We've made it. We finally made it.
Go see what Mark Passio says about criticizing without putting in the worth yourself. Sasbro, I don't know what that means.
I don't know, but I've been doing the work, and he gave me a place on his network, so I don't know what y'all are talking about.
I don't know if I can even catch up. There's so much talk in the chat. Watching from Maine. Hey, Squiffy Bear. Thanks for covering this, guys. Much appreciated. Thanks for listening, Squiffy. Appreciate it. All of them witches. That's right, Crack.
Yeah.
Really are. It's Sean and I have done 2 shows on Rosemary's Baby, so check that out. It's got the Tesseract. Sean's the one who taught me about the Tesseract. I didn't know about that.
Mark is
Tesseract and Rosemary's Baby.
There's 2. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, and then there's like
literally lies down on the couch on a Tesseract pillow, like, oh, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I mean, the inside joke on that by the Satanists must just be delicious for them. Like,
also they mentioned year 0, right? At the very end. And you have the room she goes in with the paintings, right? With those weird, oil paintings. Yeah. But I said, so year 0, this is what the year 0, it's the circle, right? It's a satanic circle. It's the Ouroboros. It's a permanent lock.
Right, the egg.
This is, so it's Ouroboros, right? It's, or whatever. It's the circle without beginning, without end, without past or future. Right. And this is.
And the snake is speaking itself into existence. Abracadabra, like it's creating reality with its words, right? So.
I've had Frank Gianelli of Psychic TV on twice to talk about Genesis, so I was familiar with his work. Unfortunately, him and Peter Christopherson, God, that's a tough show.
What was that? What was that like?
Interesting. I don't think he divulged a lot, but he just didn't like Genesis, so he talked smack about him, but he didn't get into kind of maybe some of the darker aspects of him, in my opinion. But it was nice to just touch base. He goes by the Nutty Professor. There's a lot of great stuff. Let's see. Dust Guts. Eating Raoul. That's the movie. Yes. Eat the Rich. Wild Rex. That's right.
And The Cook, the Thief, the Wife, the Lover. That's another there's cannibal.
Yeah,
I watched that when I was a kid. I think I watched it in class or something.
That was a big scandal movie, too, if you remember. Like, are they going to show it at the theater and stuff like that? I think it almost got an X rating, if I remember, which is nothing these days. Yeah, Marina wants us to tie Jesus, wants to feel sorry for her now. She said she can't walk the streets due to conspiracy theories. No, you are a spirit cooking witch. who likes Yao of God.
She
So that's
deserves to
why.
hide in her hole.
Yeah, who knows how many babies or whatever you've done? I don't even know.
I'm
Behind
just
the
looking at how
scenes,
she dances with Jay-Z. You know, those two with their like fucking intense stare at each other as they're dancing and shit. Like, okay,
Marina,
That's
yes, right.
something else.
Who's also in these files. Marina's in these files too. Marina said Trump is the chaos magician they've been waiting for. Yeah, that video makes a lot more sense now, doesn't it? I know that one. That's Brother BD. We imagine untouchable supervillains, then you read the files, see their power rests on secrecy, not mastery. Much agreed with that.
Yeah, they're actually snakes that slither on the ground. They're not.
The chat messages are not limited. I just haven't caught up to them, and
Yeah,
you guys are talking a lot, so
well,
I'm so censored.
I'm
not. If they're being censored, I'm not censoring it, audience.
yeah, I'm not censoring.
chat.
I'm just using my psychic shield to censor people that have negative vibes for me. No,
It's all the tantric like practices.
If somebody finds the pic of Epstein and Maxwell at the crowd at Nirvana Unplugged, send it to
Oh,
me. I have
wow.
not seen that.
Oh my god!
Have you guys seen that? Have you two seen that?
No, but I heard some new stuff about a book written by somebody who like
this,
Dylan
you know what?
Carlson was in there.
So these things, like I would mention Rosemary's Baby, Year Zero. You have, same time you have the thing happen in Cambodia. Pol Pot declared Year Zero. The genocide. Year Zero is the birth of the satanic overlord, right? It's the integration of the caliphatic, pure demonic hierarchy in at least 10,000 years, if they hope for eternity. So it's a prison without any escape for the slaves. Right?
It was 1966.
66. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this
that relates to the Frank and the other guy Zevi. That was 1666.
Yep.
So 1966, 300 years.
Yep.
Exactly.
300-year anniversary and the founding of the Church of Satan.
Right.
But like it mentioned like that Tom Petty video. So this is where these things are being let into the public consciousness, right? These are also,
and it was Alice in Wonderland.
Yep, Alice in Wonderland.
That whole thing was Alice in Wonderland too, and he was the Mad Hatter, you know. Oh,
and you watch some of his videos; they're really creepy, man. They're highly creepy.
Whose videos?
Tom Petty.
Oh yeah.
He's great though.
Don't come around here. No, he plays the same three. You know, dude.
His daughter's a heavy duty Thelemite. She's a heavy duty Thelemite.
Who is? What?
His daughter.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah, heavy duty into magic, man. I ran into her Instagram and I was like, whoa.
Wow.
And she's hanging out with this guy who was like basically an underling of Kenneth Anger.
Wow.
In a big way. And I was like, whoa, this is like elite. The thing is, all these kids are like famous people are Satanists, man.
Yeah.
Like Kurt Cobain's kids like that. It's just wow.
Kurt Cobain's kids also.
They're in porn, you know, they do that too. Or they get transed, you know. I think that's all a sacrifice.
Ferdinand Shawnee says eyes wide shut discussion Sean did recently with tinfoil hat was too short. Yeah,
dude. I agree.
Let's see.
I was in the middle of explaining something, and then there was like a tangent, and I didn't get to my points, and like I didn't even get to the big reveal at the end. Like, but hopefully there will be a second one. Hopefully.
Talmud says they can have sex with a female child before the age of 3 because their virginity will be restored. Yeah, it says really dark stuff.
Right. Like plucking an eye with a finger. Oh, no problem.
There's a book, an 1881 book, and then there's Michael Hoffman II also did the book, and he goes through these quotes and also talks about all the different demonic entities and summoning of spirits, et cetera, that is actually rife through that.
What about the Dubuque, Les Wexner's Dubuque? We talked about that.
Yeah.
That's right. William, good boy, really, yeah. I'll pull up the file here in a second. We're almost done with these things. Almost done with Jay Parker's the man.
Silly, isn't it?
Bible.
Yeah, Jay is the man. Yeah.
6, Mind Unveiled connected some sick stuff about the genetic engineered babies. I think we talked about that last time. They're screwing around with it, and I've done shows on that. Like the future of the human race. They're putting together stuff to change the human race.
He was talking about the orphan trains too, where there are all these babies all of a sudden going all across the country, and like Cabbage Patch Kid stuff. Like anyway, yeah.
The film Copperpot, I'm not familiar with that. Don't know. I don't know who's getting censored. I don't know. People are nobody censored anything. I just think that it's really the chat is just I can't even keep up with it.
I've been censored. I
can't even keep up with the comments, guys. Like I could do a whole show trying to keep up with the comments. Stuff in the Epstein files that further implicates Courtney to direct involvement with Kurt's death.
Really?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, D-Book. There's one where Epstein says about Robert Maxwell, he was killed off or something. I can't remember the exact term. But he literally says like he didn't fall off, he was done away with.
Oh, Maxwell was assassinated, yeah.
Right.
You do that. That's yeah.
Which has always been taught, it's always been speculated. Okay, that is it, guys. The chat, 360 listeners. Thanks everybody for listening. Please share the show. You can restream it too if you feel like it. Wouldn't bother me. Let's see, where are we at? I was gonna find the Good Boy reference for some.
There is a chat AI bot. Sometimes it will delete comments, says Scorber.
I'm not using that, that's for sure.
Oh well. So yeah, Hans was talking about the astrology stuff, and Pluto is returning to its place when like the French Revolution happened, and when we had our maybe it was America's revolution, but Pluto is like the whole society moving and changing, and it's moving to a new house, and so it's returning to its place. I don't know.
This is EFTA 01615074, and Epstein says something to Bannon, ? And Bannon goes, in the middle of shit show with deeper implications, and Epstein says, good boy. Pain in the ass, but it has to get done. I have faith. Then they bag on like Lawrence Summers.
Pain in the ass.
You would have loved watching Summers eat sashimi after sashimi after sashimi, like the seal at the Central Park Zoo, then wash it down with a gallon of Diet Coke. I've never seen anything eat that much fish without flippers. I took a video of it to show you. It makes David Blaine swallowing goldfish look banal. There's some of this inside talk is just incredible stuff, man. Really incredible.
I'm so glad you're looking through this, because it's daunting, all of this document.
It's a lot.
At least you have Command F and you can like search, whatever. But
it's very dark. It's really dark stuff. Like this is another document. This is if you can look up Podhorse and Orsec. Each time they would travel to one of those destinations, some same patterns of sexual abuse would occur, often with a vast array of aspiring models, actresses, celebrities, and or other females, including minors from all over the world. Upon information and belief, defendant transported minor girls from Turkey, the Czech Republic, Asia, and numerous other countries, many of whom spoke no English. To plaintiff's knowledge, the only female specifically excluded from defendants' sexual escapades were African Americans. You didn't see no black people in any of the pictures or anything like that.
And they couldn't speak the language, so they couldn't cry for help. Right. There she is, Alice. Alice. Right.
Eclipsing or occulting the star of Ishtar. But the good news, guys, You can go to Melania's website right now and buy a Star of Ishtar with the USA badge on it.
Of course, she would associate herself with the Star of Ishtar. USA, it's so silly, right?
There's another one they use. I have
USA Star of Ishtar. It's like awesome, man. It's like,
it's almost as cool as a Trumpy bear. I mean, it's almost like that level.
You can't even write this stuff. This is on there. You can go to her website right now. There's another one where she used the Star of Ishtar as like an invite for something. So I have that picture on like one of my hard drives somewhere.
So Trump's got the Tesseract and she's got the Star of Ishtar.
There they are. This is the final sequence, or like close to the end, where they're in the toy store, and you see on the bottom left there the magic circle. And Sean and I have talked about that because King Charles III was a member of the Magic Circle, the kind of famous place in England. Who else is a part of the Magic Circle? David Copperfield and David Blaine, who are in the inner circle of Jeffrey Epstein. This is from Ecosphere. So, but the thing about it is the insignia is the same. It's like a totally correct thing.
And the Magic Circle has a boys' club where it's like the demole for magician children that are tapped on the shoulder and brought to secret places and then given little medals and stuff. It's sick. Yeah.
This guy has like a lot of Copperfield, whose real name is Kotkin, Jewish. He has a lot of cases against him, a lot of allegations, and there's articles about him drugging people. I honest to God believe I was drugged. Magician David Copperfield's alleged victims speak out.
Of course.
This is actually recent. I forgot what the date is on this one. I think it's May 2024, so it's fairly recent. So this guy is the Magic Circle and a buddy of Epstein. This is the Ninth Circle article. So they're talking about it's Bannon and Epstein, and he goes. Bannon says to him, "Abandon hope, all ye who enter," and then Epstein responds, "Ninth Circle," which is another secret society affiliated with the Vatican too. It's really dark. A lot of deaths and girls, ending up dead. So it's real bad. There's David Blaine. Weird tattoos. Dead body. He goes to see this woman who died for him to get him out. And there's been other deaths around Epstein. One is the name Ruslana Korshinova. She supposedly jumped off of a 9th floor apartment balcony in 2008. So that's downtown, like in Manhattan.
And Mandy on the slab there was a model who was like trying to be famous model, but she had a drug addiction and whatever. But she was married to or like dating this fashion mogul guy, and
there's like one strange thing, like at the end of where is it? Like when they announced Epstein was gone, there was like a guy with the same name as the name in the movie. You ever hear that story where like there was an article by somebody with the same name as the article about her in the movie?
He is he's been working for the New York Post for a long time. Solon. So
that sounds right.
I forget. Yeah, but he broke a lot of stories, and he's just I think that Kubrick hired him to or whatever, or used the name, paid for the name to make it look authentic, because New Yorkers would see that name a lot when they're reading that newspaper.
2008, just days before her 21st birthday, plummeted to her death from the 9th floor balcony of her apartment at 130 Water Street, New York City's financial district. Midday. Just decided at 2:30 it was time to end it.
2:30. Yeah. Well, in these times, but one thing to say is that, in terms of all the elites getting involved, there are lots of people getting involved. These are depending, right? Obviously, you have a lot of bloodline families that, and one thing to bear in mind too is that the level of intelligence is not the same as it was, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, right? So these are the pampered, whatever. They don't have the same. I don't think that same intellectual acumen. I think that's why some of these plot, I think we're behind schedule in terms of what was supposed to be unfolded. But the other thing is that it's very easy to get led into these things, and you have to cross certain thresholds. And that model is an example of someone who maybe she bridled at something she saw. Boom, out the window. And the guy, I just read a guy, the Scorpions drummer or bassist, whatever, said he was at a party at a snuff. It was a snuff party. And so and these are and you know, these things are there, right? You know, we may have encountered them in various ways, depends on where you are in your life trajectory. But I mean, there are, I mean, right? You go through, and you may take 5, 10 years for you to get up to eating the human sacrifice, whatever, but if you just keep going along that path, you'll probably get there unless you back out, or unless you don't advance your career, or unless you know too much and you fall out of a window.
Right, or you complain too much or whatever, and somebody, hey, you're talking too much. This is causing problems, complaining too much. Larry Solona was his name. That's it, yeah.
I think being thrown out the window is in the CIA handbook of how to eliminate people.
I think you're right. And other people like Olson had got the treatment. So let's see if I can bring this up. Larry Solona. But one of these files was just mentioned, mentioned by Trump. I mean, mentioned in Congress. This is the Larry Solona, same name. So he wrote about apparent suicide, and then FGD dies of drug overdose, supposedly. I'm trying to find this clip of the guy talking in Congress, but he basically was talking in Congress, this guy Ted Lieu, about this case, the Kiefer residence, and they wrote about this last year, actually in January. This is Kiefer residence, patch of files. 3-page report describes a call from an identified man in 2020 about the NTOC. That's a whole nother show in itself, is the NTOC incoming stuff. But it's connected to this thing where this young girl was found that her head was blown off. And she had been reporting to police she'd been raped by Epstein and Trump. And they mentioned it in Congress. I'm trying to find this video. I didn't have it at the ready. But he's really questioning her. She should take her cross off, by the way.
Yeah.
She's a total traitor to
turn it upside down or something.
Yeah, no, it's even better. Better than taking it off. She should turn it upside down, because she's a traitor to the faith, man. She's a total liar. This is the document. Basically, Elaine, she had taken her daughters up to see one of the supposed fathers who lived in Niagara. This is NTOC 2020. Fairly recent. This isn't like one of the crimes that took place in 2002 or something. But this is just an incredible. Can you guys read this? Does anybody feel like reading this? I can send it to you.
Sure.
Are you able to read this?
I think I could read the last one. I think that one's legible.
Let me go back here.
Okay.
Can you try to read that? It's from October.
Sure.
2020.
Blank asked Blank about his time driving a limousine for 2 years in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. During Blank's time as a driver, he had met Donald Trump. Blank noted he picked the president up in 1995 and took him to the DFW airport. Blank reported some of things President Trump had spoken about during the ride while on his cell phone were very concerning. Blank reported he was a few seconds from pulling the limousine over on the median and within a few seconds of pulling him out of the car and hurting him due to some of the things he was saying, as caller chose not to. Blank noted Trump continuously stated the name Jeffrey while on the phone and made references to abusing some girl. Blank was unaware who he was talking to nor who he was referencing. As Blank talked about his time meeting Donald Trump, blank immediately, blank's demeanor went stone cold as blank stated, he raped me. Blank said, what? As blank replied, Donald J. Trump had raped her along with Jeffrey Epstein. Blank noted some girl with a funny name took me into a fancy hotel or building. That's how it happened. Blank advised blank to call the police regarding the incident. As blank stated, I can't, they will kill me. On Christmas Day, blank contacted blank, stated she had in fact called the police about what they had talked about. Blank told blank she had done good. Blank did not hear from blank or blank until January 10th, 2000. Blank reached out to blank stating blank was dead and noted she was found with her head blown off in Kiefer, Oklahoma. Officers on the scene and blank stated there was no way it was suicide. Coroner, I'm assuming that means coroner, stated it was suicide. Blank later stated blank committed suicide because blank had gotten cocaine from a Mexican drug cartel. Blank feels the murder is a cover for Ghislaine. The last contact, can you take the comments down? The last contact with blank was after blank posted this information on Facebook a couple of weeks prior. Blank called blank, yelling that he had put the family in danger. Blank explained blank had a third daughter named redacted. Note, during blank's report, he mentioned John Doe number 2 was actually John W. Nichols, date of birth redacted. Blank, who tried to originally set blank up for the bombing in Oklahoma City. Nichols worked security for Bill and Hillary Clinton, as blank ate at the place where Nichols worked security at the door. Hillary walked up to blank drunk and began yelling as they asked blank to leave and fired Nichols, which led Nichols to attempt to set up blank for the bombing. Wow. There's a lot in that document. Holy crap.
Lot to
Yeah, it's a rough one. That's her. We have pictures of the supposed victim. Another one, like weird things, like from his close girlfriend to, I mean, this is in the theme of this girl turning up dead, supposedly of a drug overdose in Eyes Wide Shut. They're like talking about Columbia student family gives desperate plea for her return. I've got to make sure that we notify Jeff. April 2014. So that's another transmission one. This is his bookshelf. You notice anything about those pillars that's interesting?
Yeah, the ninth gate, right? Or wasn't that like on either side of the bed with the snakes?
I don't know, but isn't it Boaz and Jachin that they're both?
Right. Yeah, Jachin Boaz. Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
you're right.
And that's like, of course, the Twin Towers. But is it possible? Can you zoom in on that? Let's just see what kind of he has.
I wonder what the resolution is on that photo.
If you look on the shelf there, I think it's from the third on the right. The picture on the far right is Epstein with a little girl, a tiny little girl. I'll show that. But let me get the photo itself, which I do have somewhere. Let's see.
I want to see what books he has.
I'm gonna email it to you, and I'm gonna bring it up.
Okay, sweet. Yeah.
I forgot too many files on my desk as usual. My desktop is a complete disaster.
Man, I miss my executive desk.
Rosemary's Baby's bookshelf was interesting too. Remember?
Zoom in. Can I get it zoomed in?
Certain
Here.
people stole my.
I'm going to email it to you guys right now. Epstein pillars. Okay, it should be in your email. I was able to do it on my thing, in that there's one picture of this little kid who's on there. Let's see.
Those paintings are weird. What's the left painting? What is that dude? Is he kissing something? A black thing?
There's a lot of art fraud and like sketchy things these guys are involved in.
Right. Yeah, just like Biden's son there. Isn't he a painter now? Just like George W. is a painter now.
Sure.
And the guy, the Boston Mafia guy there, he was a painter for a while.
I'm a painter too, man. I am. I used to. So yeah, that one. That's like a. That's kind of some on the left. That's like a kind of a mythological. Looks like someone's head, right? Almost like a severed head or a dying person wearing some kind of a helmet, right, on that far left. And then there's the picture aligned with that. Someone was looking at a fish. You see that left quadrant. There's a lot of. I think there's a lot of symbolism in here, but
yeah, there's a plane. There's the one girl who I know is Marcinkova, not a Marcinkova. She's on there. There's
is that the Pope?
Heads.
That's the Pope, isn't it? With Ghislaine Maxwell. Look at that.
Yes, that's a picture of those two with the Pope.
That's the Pope right there, and there's like a dead Pope painting.
That's the most recent Pope. Here's the other picture. This is, if you zoom into the far right, you'll see this picture of like a little kid, which is unnerving. Epstein. This is it.
Palaces of Naples ties into Salo, right? Maybe.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
Let's not do that show. Yeah,
that's Epstein with some little girl. Like, somebody explain that. That's creepy.
Yeah, there's all these. I mean, you weird little, even the picture frames, the ashtrays, and then that. Who's that blonde right there?
The one underneath him is a girl by the name of Nada Marzinkova. She was one of his early pilots, and she's all over the files. I don't know when this picture was taken. So, but imagine sitting at that desk and having a meeting with somebody, and it's like referencing the freaking temple in Jerusalem, right?
Yeah. Well, that the painting on the that would be on the left side, right? But on our right side, head? Yeah, it looks like almost like the Saturn eats his young kind of head, but it looks like almost like a Pope head.
To me, yeah, he's wearing a Pope. It looks like maybe a Pope that like he has like
Saturn Pope beheaded,
like a papal head.
But he looks like he's got like a rotten lips, and it looks like he's kissing something or like tilting his head, kind of looking up. Looks really rotten. I don't know.
Well, let's ask AI what paintings they are.
Yeah, great. Oh man,
somebody's been like.
Can they do that now?
Yes, they can spot paintings. It's crazy.
Wow, dude. I need to look into some paintings, dude.
I
mean, it's something you'd definitely be interested in.
Yeah.
So if you notice, there's 6 curves on that pillar on the left. It's a very weird, undulating, pillar. You know what I mean? With the crown. So it's like the crown Sephiroth, and it goes up there, with the empty. See that the pillar, the pillar on the right, and see that empty hollow point, right? See the right. If you go up from the pillar, the curvy pillar on top of that, there's like an empty
there's
box.
Black square.
Yeah, there's 2 black cubes on
the
left
double
and right
cubes,
sides.
The double
cube.
Yep, the double square, right? Like fucking even Epstein or not Epstein. Even freaking David Icke was talking about the double square, and that's the Tesseract stuff. Like it's a black cube that's like a hollow emptiness, just like where the Twin Towers were taken down. They got hollow holes in the ground, or they're black cubes. Same thing. That's Tesseract shit.
It's the Einsoff, right? It's the
it goes right on, like on the head, like the thing for Woody. what we were just talking about, the thing that the black cube they wear on their crown chakra or on their third eye or whatever. So you were talking about going up the spine, and then there's that thing right there, the black hole of the fucking cube. Excuse me, the language. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nasser writes in this one, Massey claims to have seen unredacted prototypes of a mass extinction level weapon belonging to the state of Israel in the Epstein files. The House rep says he wouldn't go into any more details, but saw it named as the Global Obliteration Yield Beam.
No way. They would never do that. No way. These are good people, man. Israel is good. Stop it.
Doomsday device.
Stop it. No way. There's no Samson option is a conspiracy theory.
93 million years.
You know, just in case people don't know the Samson option, right? There's a Seymour Hersh book. Yeah. Samson option is basically if the state will go down, they have nuclear weapons pointing to all of, their enemies, but also New York City, Washington, D.C., Paris, London, Brussels, whatever, Rome. They just take down the whole planet. And this is actual doctrine. It's not speculative doctrine. But anyways, what about these? What about the
Ripper with his cigar? You know, like war is not, not meant for politicians. Like that dude, he started the, and then they go into their bunkers, and they're all planning on going to their bunkers, and freaking even the Facebook guy is building bunkers, and Elon has got a whole, his tunnels, company. Like, what is that all about? And when you talk to people like my friends like Carrie Elahe and some others, they were brought into underground bunkers for their training. I mean, Carrie was in a place that had sun. It was like sunshine, and it was all artificial outside in underground. They got weird shit going.
Pictures of babies. That's weird.
Yeah, that was
blood
gross.
transfusions. Barry Josephson. All you need is a blood transfusion from the pack, and you reverse aging.
Oh,
can you get AI? I mean, I've zoomed in the best. What is that weird? On that right side, what is that medallion?
That's a good question. I don't know.
You see that? You know what I'm talking about, right? That gold thing.
I put the head into AI. I couldn't find it. It said it was some kind of guy named Garrett Dew, but it's not correct.
Can you get AI to do like an analysis of like all the books? Can it read?
I don't know if you can. I see one that says
you can try.
That would be awesome.
Let's see what AI says here. I'll put the thing in here.
What's up with all the shells? There's shells everywhere, right?
Yeah, they look like stars almost the way they're.
Yeah. It's in this like that weird, like the bookends, like the weird looks like a demon or some kind of weird ghostly figure, and then the other side is like on the top shelf, two balls. I mean, it's kind of hard to. Titian, I just see a few things. I see China. It looks like there's some. I mean, no idea. There's a few upside down books also, but.
You missed this is from John Brockman, the head of the Edge Foundation, that all of these rich technate guys go to or went to. P.S. Jeff, I think this is Jeff. Yeah. You missed the big event on Saturday, a party with a dozen beautiful East Side girls. Well, a dozen 1-year-olds. Like, what?
Whoa.
This is kind of a famous picture that Sean has talked about with, what's this guy's name again?
Ziegler.
Yeah. Ziegler, like, occulting her anatomy,
right? Yeah,
and
she's pregnant. She's pregnant in the picture, right?
And drugged. The girl's drugged that he's looking at,
right?
And then Epstein writes to Ian Rodriguez, "Ask Chris about my trumpet plants at nursery. Do you want to know what a trumpet plant is?"
Yes.
Someone asked about. I see a chat asked about Steven Seagal. So I have met. I know Steven Seagal personally.
Wow.
I do it, and I was trying to do some when I was doing film stuff. I was gonna do something with him, but it's sort of he's out there in Russia. He's actually lives in Mongolia. So, but he's I don't know. I don't know why he'd be on the show, but
it's a scopolamine plant.
Oh, right. Right. The flower looks like a trumpet.
Yeah. It's also, let me see, trumpet plant. From Angel's Trumpet.
Right.
Toxicity. All the parts of the plant are highly poisonous due to tropane alkaloids, atropine, scopolamine, hyoscyamine. Delirium, hallucinations, paralysis, and death. Wow.
Yeah. It's ruthless. And then they make a powder out of it and then they blow it in your face. And it's funny that like the angel's trumpet is what took down the Tower of Babel, like the destroyer of worlds.
And the little flowers look like trumpets.
Right.
So that's why it's in there. Let's see.
Yeah, it's a tree, and you can like find them on the side of the road down in like Central America.
And people like come out of it after 3 days, like their bank account's gone and they don't even know what happened to them.
Right.
This is the slaughter of the innocents. So anybody know that biblical reference?
Yep. And this is a great
Amalek,
classical
right?
painting and and if, of course, most people probably have, but you go to actual art museum, like Cleveland Art Museum, Detroit, or wherever, and see these things in front of you, it's mind blowing. Okay. I mean, these are amazing. I mean, these have massive impact, right? These actual paintings, right? And then you go to the modern art, it's like, it's got, what is that one? Art Black. Oh, the guy had a painting.
Look at him smashing the baby and you can see there's blood on that pillar that he's smashing its face against.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, this is really something else. I'll quote the Bible from KJV, Matthew 2:16-18. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceedingly wroth and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, in Ramah was a voice heard, lamentation and weeping, in great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and they would not be comforted because they are not. So that's him. This is the artist. His name is Rubens. He's a classic. Hey, Rich. Jeffrey is asking if you can FedEx the painting he had made of the Massacre of the Innocents to the ranch. It's a large 9x9 canvas that we had rolled out for him to see in the entryway, where they are killing babies. Like, she literally mentions it. She's killing babies. Wants to use it on the ranch and is hoping you could FedEx to arrive it by Friday. That's so great. Like, he had a 9x9. Like, you talk about it being imposing. That's what it is. Jeffrey, if you would like to use my house to get things done, please do. When is the furniture being delivered here? The 5x9, 9x9, 5-inch size is $1,099. So they like literally sourced it. They are killing babies. Great. We would like to, what does he say here? I forgot. Great. Thank you. We'd like to proceed with ordering the 9x9, 5-foot size Massacre of the Innocents from 1591, 2010. This is dark. I mean, if you're eating kids and cannibalizing, that makes perfect sense. Like, you're on the side of like everything dark.
Think about the kids that they were bringing in there that were still alive and had to see that huge painting as they were walking in.
Well,
dude, that's like the ritual element of the magicians and stuff, is to like get the power of it. Like, they don't know, but I know.
You might read this? This is okay. My stolen art, I guess, on the island, with a frowny face emoji, or maybe 66th Street apartment owned by Wexner. It never ends. The greatest, is it gift or grift? The greatest grift of my life. My paintings sold for tens of thousands, and he used them to decorate for models after stealing them. The FBI has all this art now. When do I get something returned? My art stolen, compensation for suffering stolen, safety stolen.
Look at the date on that. This is May 2025. This is not long ago. This is like all these people involved in litigation and stuff against these people, and like somebody's pissed off about it. I know I've seen your beautiful art somewhere. I wrote my name in petals on the table. So somebody's like sending it, and this is the art in the background. Oops, sorry. Can you see that art in the background? Whatever that is seems to be her stolen art.
It's blacked out. By the way, one of the
Why
first.
would they black that out? It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
There's one of the beginnings of the whole modern art movement. Of course, you have was the destruction of the European tradition of painting that reached with pre-Raphaelite paintings reached such a level of absolute mastery of painting, right? And suddenly you have was it the painting Black Square or was it Black Cube? You know what I'm talking about? I just painted a black cube.
Rothko?
I think so. Yeah, it's sold for millions, and then they have like literally have these jars like artist shit, artist P. I mean, they're selling this stuff.
They Piss Christ too. The photograph.
Yeah, piss Christ. But I mean, on and on and on. Of course, while they're buying up all this advanced level, great art, again, while at the same time just culling humanity, or at least culling the, you can see this, going back to Kalergi plan about creating this hybrid mixed race thing. They have you go to the United Nations Shrine Room. I bet we could find all this linked, interlocked back to the Shrine Room at the United Nations. But yeah, there we go.
This is an interesting one. It reminded me of all the woodwork in the house, like at Ziegler's house when Bill Halford goes there at the pool table, like the big desks. These are all like signs of power and stuff. Big desks and all this kind of almost like ornate heraldry stuff,
Right.
like in those circles.
And there's a painting staring at him.
So like imagine being Bannon here. Like this is like a power display, the big desk and this, it's overly sized desk.
But also like this guy's like the power he has is like you can't even comprehend it because it's his connections. I mean, like this guy's almost like a god, right? This guy is
his Rolodex.
Yeah, it's
look at this, like it looks almost like a piece from the 16th or 17th century. That's right there, kind of in the middle back.
This picture. The black background, the portrait with the white ruffles around their neck.
I don't know who that is.
The one behind, even on the left, that looks like that's an original, looks like a Dutch master type of painting there on the left. That one smaller portrait. So I'm sure, and all the stuff there, I'm sure 100% is real, like these ancient volumes and this and that. I mean, this is, probably a couple $50 million office, really.
Notice the octagons. There's like a series of 3 octangular frames or whatever with something in the middle, but the frames are double octagons, which is like another more Tesseract stuff. Octagon is a 2-dimensional representation of the 4-dimensional.
Dr. Octagon.
Yeah, Daka. Yeah.
He's pointing at him and he's pointing at him too. It's weird.
Right.
Well, look, it's almost the same office.
Yeah.
It's like the same space.
That's the Talmud right there. Yeah.
Where's the right?
I'm just saying that the series of red ones, it looks like it.
It's almost like the set designer like ripped stuff off
for Epstein's mansion
or something. Isn't it weird? Like you have circular woodworking.
I got 2 IKEA bookshelves.
Yeah, I don't have stuff like this.
I've got Chinese balls. I have 2 Chinese. Look, I'll show you.
Somebody wrote this article.
I have these 2 Chinese exercise balls. Oh, that's yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein's occult bookshelf, so he was definitely into the occult. This is from November 2025.
Does it say the titles of his books?
Sure does. This is one of those things mentioning Tantra. From Jeffrey, 1 Kundalini, 2 prostate massage, 3 Tantra, 4 multiple for men, multiple for you. These are all on YouTube. So these tell him sex related stuff. Thank you very much. This woman is like, I want to be more productive. Work as a yoga teacher. And this is like how he's training her.
I want to have the right impression of me. I mean, there's the Tantra. I mean, basically what you're trying to do is take the energy, right? The Shiva energy, which is the base of the spine, the Muladhara chakra, the earth element, and it's through the semen or also the sexual energy. You draw that all the way up to the crown chakra, right? To the Shakti, You have Shiv Shakti Union, but I'm wondering, like, what I see. I think whatever they're doing, because technically, actual tantric stuff, at least there's like something called the 5 Ks, right? So there's a tantric ritual. These are the 5 forbidden fruits, right? 5 forbidden things, right? So you have like fish, meat, wine, sex, whatever. So that's the five forbidden fruits of that. And so this Western Tantra, though, I think this is using some of the same tech apparatus, but I think it's got to be quite different. You know what I mean? I don't think Epstein's going to
Probably,
have
I
discipline to
mean,
do that shit.
I'll bet you it, like, because Crowley was was into the yoga and stuff, learning all of that, and then he discovered that sex magic was the reason or was the mechanism of the Golden Dawn stuff, and they're like, "Oh no, that's our secret" or whatever.
The
But I mean,
OTO, yeah, it was the
yeah,
OTO.
right. And so like
Well,
maybe it came in Crowley's mind because he's crossing these two and he's understanding
well,
it's the same or whatever.
I think if you reread this, actually, that will exactly reply to. I just looked at what you have up, William, and that
Oh,
that actually explicates. So this is actually it's using the term tantra. It's Western tantra, but it. Can I read it, or you want? Or
Yeah, go ahead.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is a direct tie to
Okay.
Crowley.
Yeah,
Glad you mentioned Crowley, Sean.
yeah. In 2007. So, anyways, just because that there is there's a very advanced philosophy of tantra which is based on it's called the Garland of Letters, which is the entire connection of words, sound, it's very esoteric and very intellectual, right? So I just want to state that this terminology not necessarily be directly this is a amalgamation, right, using certain technologies. Anyways, in 2007, Jeffrey Epstein purchased Christopher S. Hyatt's Secrets of Western Tantra, The Sexuality of the Middle Path. The book was dedicated to his friend and teacher, Israel Regardie, a Kabbalist who was called Aleister Crowley's apprentice and worked as his secretary in Paris. Hyatt, born Alan Ronald Miller, himself was the co-founder of the Thelemic Order of the Golden Dawn.
Huge bigwig in the OTO. And
So this is OTO. Okay, so here we go. Secrets of
good friends with Robert Anton Wilson too, by the way.
Yeah, and the
Same publishing house. I think it's
Cosmic Trigger, and these are again like that. We all probably, or some of us, got into that stuff, but there you go. Here's your lightweight initiatory practices, right? Oh, Robert Anton Wilson, he's so cool. Oh, let me get into chaos magic. Oh, that's okay. Anyways, continuing. Secrets of Western Tantra aims to unite polarities such as male and female energies. Okay, such as. So, what do you mean by unite? Okay, anyways, life and death, lust and love, Eastern and Western spiritual traditions. So right there, it's basically a bunch of BS, right? Okay, let me finish it. Hyatt claims to have learned Reichian therapy from Regardie, named after Dr. Wilhelm Reich, the man who coined the phrase the sexual revolution. Reichian therapy was designed to help the neurotic reach orgastic potency, an ecstatic state that was supposedly the norm in pre-civilizational societies and was then bred out by civilization. Reich actually had a great contempt for mysticism and religion and believed that they only existed because man could not reach full orgasm. Okay. Hyatt claimed to then work to create a new tantra, a new goddess religion for the Western world, rather than Indian tantra, which is tied up in discipline and taboos. As I stated, Hyatt's work seeks to merge Kundalini yoga with Thelemite ritual magic. Hyatt writes of a new aeon, which James Wasserman's preface refers explicitly to the aeon of the child. Okay? Jack Parsons. The child being the result of the unity of male and female. Okay. So this is not this just as a. I didn't say anything about Wilhelm Reich, but just this is not the child of a natural union of man and woman. This is the merging of this is like a nuclear technology, right? This is an atomic bomb. This is you know what I mean? You're trying to work with the codes, the energy of the universe. You're doing something that is fundamentally, well, I hate to use the word blasphemous, but I mean something that is, this is not the unity of man and female. This is a unity of, this is a destruction. This is an atomic, it's a unity of destruction, okay, that creates power for those who are taking the result of that. Anyways, this is an explicit nod to Aleister Crowley's Aeon of Horus. Okay, though I should have read further before I commented. The child God. So this is Aeon of Horus. This is Hyatt himself was a practitioner of Crowleyan magic. Hyatt also borrows from Kabbalah's Tree of Life. Let's say footnote, Kilafat. Writing that it was from my work with the Tree of Life and sexual magic that the system evolved. This is heavy, right? It's all there. So Wilhelm Reich, if people are not familiar with Wilhelm Reich was, connected he's connected with the Frankfurt School. Hopefully everybody's familiar with the Frankfurt School and all of their various endeavors. But Wilhelm Reich was you could say a semi-Freudian. He built, William S. Burroughs was a huge fan of Wilhelm Reich. He built things called orgone boxes, which would trap orgasmic energy, right? You'd sit in the orgone box and extract all the orgasmic energy from the universe, or from the atmosphere into your body. But actually, Wilhelm Reich also was connected with the HARP project. Okay, so some of his, Wilhelm Reich, he basically, he had incestuous fantasies about his mother. His mother was having an affair. He tried to have sex with his mother. He ended up finally revealing to his father that his mother was having an affair, and his mother committed suicide because his mother wouldn't have sex with him. That's when he was 14, 15 years old. So this is Wilhelm Reich. So is that, that's your guru for sex magic. And, you can look that up. But Wilhelm Reich, so again, he coined the phrase the sexual revolution. He is the author of the sexual revolution. Maybe for me, of course, the authoritarian personality, the whole idea with the authoritarian personality was the F scale, right? The fascism scale. And what was the root of the fascism scale was the family structure was 1950s America was stable society. This is the root of fascism. How do we change that? Well, let's bring in the Frankfurt School, which is it's Antonio Gramsci, right? Antonio Gramsci, the communist. The direct revolution didn't work, so we're going to do the indirect revolution by destroying the structures of society from within. And one of the main tools of that is sex. So the sexual revolution is designed to break down the entire foundation of all social order, right? And again, what he says here, to help the neurotic, we are all neurotics, right? Unless we're in the Reichian state of permanent orgasm, which is what Abraham Maslow talked about, the peak, everyone says, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is complete bullshit. But what's the peak of his hierarchy of needs? It's the orgasm. So we're supposed to be in a permanent orgasm. Oh, yeah. What is it, like a perpetual porn movie? It may get boring, right? Maybe not.
Epstein's life, though, right?
Yeah, but exactly. But this was the norm in pre-civilizational societies. This is going back. This is the Aquarian conspiracy. This is changing images of man. This is taking human beings back to a neo-feudal state. And this is I think the root of what they're doing. So anyways, the Western Tantra, and look, what's the picture? It's Egyptian gods. That's not Indian. That's straight Egyptian. This is Wow, this is an amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
I didn't mean to go on it, but I mean, we have Horace, and Wilhelm Reich again, very very important figure. In that, So, anyways, wow.
Just more of it. They're talking about, all this stuff, but it's crazy. It looks like this was from an email in 2017, so it's fairly recent. This kind of connection to Crowley and Rigardi is just incredible, Research dedicated it to Israel Rigardi, direct tie to Crowley. I call him Crowley's apprentice in my book, and Children of the Beast Rigardi. And he rewrote all the Golden Dawn stuff and republished it too. At the ranch. Want to make sure you guys knew Jeffrey Epstein told Wendy to get rid of all the show animals at the ranch. The miniature horses, pigs, turkey, goats, Diablo, etc. I don't know who Diablo is. Wendy said she will try and sell what she can. I don't think Jeffrey Epstein much cares what happens to them, as he said to just kill them.
Great.
Nice.
You know what? Here's the thing. Can you go back to that if you don't mind? Look at this. I'm wondering if the animals are relating to the prisoners or the human beings.
Right. This could be complete code words, guys.
Because,
right.
Okay, the animals on the ranch. So this doesn't make normal. So notice the scare quotes around all the show. Scare quotes around show animals on the ranch.
Why would you have a show turkey?
Yeah, the miniature horses.
Good point. Yeah.
Pigs, turkeys, goats, Diablo. Now, of course, that's in capitals, etc. So Diablo, of course, means devil. Wendy said she will try and sell what she can. Move the merchandise through the networks, through their classification terminology, right? Who knows? I don't think J.E. much cares what happens to them, as he said, to just kill them. I think the only thing we're keeping is the chickens for the eggs. Genetic breeding program.
Right.
And the horses which someone can ride.
Wow, so that's the code.
So, because this is coded.
Maybe there's another document that says there's bodies buried at this.
But 100%, I just want to stress, this is a coded email. These are busy people. They're not like me, right? I mean, well, I'm busy, but I mean, these are whatever. So this email, the scare quotes shows this is the entry point, that this is all in code. So the quotes around the show means read this in your code book or read this whatever. So the chickens for the eggs. Okay. This is 100% coded. I mean, It's actually chilling. No question this is coded language. Chickens for the eggs. That's the breeders. The horses, what you can ride. I mean, this is, and he says kill them in quotes was, what snuff films, that means sell them for, this is coded. He doesn't give it, he's not running a friggin' farm. He doesn't care about chickens. He doesn't need chickens for eggs. And horses, and the horses which someone can ride.
And it's miniature horses, little ones. Right.
He's not going to ride them. It's not for him. It's for somebody else.
Horses. Right.
Horses could be whores, right?
Yeah. And didn't they have photographs, advertising the faces and bodies of the women that were on the market for sale? And wasn't that in the files too?
I think so. Some of them.
I mean, they're
black. Chicken is a known pedo term. Chicken is a known.
Right. That's little boys.
I think it's little boys and girls. Yeah. It's
chicken hawk.
Right. That's why the title of the book is the flight of the chicken hawk or whatever, because that's what they are. They're looking for chicken. In the code, you don't go, do you have an 8-year-old boy? You go, hey, you got any chicken for sale? And the other person knows what that code word means, right?
Yeah.
They do it for drugs too. Drugs have codes.
Remember the Doors song, I eat more chicken any man ever seen?
I ate more chicken than any man ever seen.
Backdoor man.
But it goes with this theme of
backdoor man.
Let's put Sean in this picture on social media. And I think that this is a huge tell and giveaway. They have her posed as a exercise equipment with the exercise equipment in the background. I don't think it's a mistake.
Right.
And
people as furniture.
Yeah. I think that this is deliberate. So it's really disturbing. And then Sean has done a lot of work on this too. Like it's in his work.
Whoa, so what is this? Oh, it's Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange, yeah.
Wow.
And then
intro scene.
in Lolita at the end, Quilty says, I can fix it for you to watch executions. Would you like that? Would you like to watch? Just watch. And then I know some people, you could use them as pieces of furniture. I know this one guy, he's got a face that looks just like a bookcase. Lady Gaga kind of looks like a bookcase.
It's just it's just a theme. And you'll see like coffee tables. I think it's in the Pizzagate stuff where they literally had like a human body as the four posts. I have to go find my old files, but I think it's all intentional.
Just notice the naked women. Just go back to that if you don't mind. The slide, yeah, look at the women. Their hands are bound by handcuffs, chained. It's a stress position, like Guantanamo Bay stress position. So you see they're handcuffed. I mean, I think the next photo you can see better.
Oh, right, the milkmaids.
The women, yeah. See, they're chained in a stress position.
Right. Yeah. It just goes to show that they're slave women, and it's funny that he calls her Lucy as he's getting her milk, and he's getting adrenochrome milk infused, adrenochrome. Anyway, yeah. And the milk.
One of you guys read this one. I think this is the FBI stuff. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is, guys. These are things in the files that aren't verified. Like they're not in criminal trials, but they're just part of the information that's coming in. So it had some of the NSOC stuff is like, I've got information for the FBI to act on. This is something that somebody's talking about this trafficking, so-called, in 2019. But there's some, it just sounds kind of legit. If somebody wants to read that, maybe you can give an impression of it.
I'll go ahead. Okay. We've had another serious incident since an American shot the trial judge in our child sex trafficking case here. He and I both think this latest incident is tied to the fact we have reached out to your team. Who on your team knows we are talking to you? Anyone assigned from NSA, CIA, or U.S. State Department? Please understand people's lives here are in jeopardy. We have had 4 armed attacks against us. My partner has shot and killed 2 and wounded 5 American agents to date. Numerous white American agents following us in vans assigned to U.S. Embassy. Jorge was attacked and lost his arm. The President of Mexico is keenly aware of our case against blank and other U.S. officials. This case we have here is most certainly connected to yours. We have the proof. Our case will help bring a whole new dynamic to what you know and who is involved. Prince Philip is small fry compared to what we have uncovered. You may want to question the ex-U.S. ambassador to Mexico, Mr. Earl Anthony Wayne, about his involvement with an underage girl when he attended and was arrested by the federal police. We believe that Blank and Epstein were involved organizing this party, and it was held in Juarez, Mexico in 2014 at a U.S. consulate-controlled housing facility. Ask him how he knows Blank. He was sentenced in Mexico in 2017 to a life sentence for impregnating an 11-year-old
Sean,
girl.
you don't have to read the rest of it. This guy's denied the claims in this file. I don't want to bring him up in this. The real point of what I'd like to impart is that there's a statement that Epstein went to Juarez in 2014. That's really it. So why would Epstein go to Juarez, right? If this is true, what's he doing in Juarez, New Mexico? It's a border town on the other side of El Paso. There's nothing there. It's just a total border town. So why would
the cartels are there? I mean, yeah,
the cartel's there, and it's also notorious for femicides. You know the femicide story of Juarez?
Well,
I
you know
think that
just what just came to my mind is the movie Borderland. You familiar with that Borderland? And so you have Alfredo de Jesus Contes, right? The drug dealer who was doing human sacrifice, narco Satanists. You know, they were
Yeah, that was Matamoros. This is Juarez. It's close. Matamoros is closer to like southern Texas. Very close.
no, I'm just saying like that whole. To what extent is that not a limited? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
could that,
Jesus Adolfo Constanza.
yeah,
Constanza was his name.
yeah. Could that be connected or maybe not?
Well, what I'm saying is that what Juarez is infamous for is these femicides. There's been like 2,000 young girls who have been taken away, like 15, 14-year-olds, like Jeffrey's kind of like bullseye spot, taken away and murdered and found out in the desert. And all these crosses, these pink crosses, symbolize their abduction and death and their mothers. And I've done a couple shows on this. It's actually a really good book by Roberto Bolaño called 2666. But do you guys want to read this? Somebody want to read that?
sure.
I will.
Yeah.
You can.
I can read it unless you want to. So.
Go ahead.
Okay. The femicides in Ciudad, I don't know Spanish. So. Femicides in Ciudad Juarez, a persistent crisis of gender-based violence. Ciudad Juarez, a bustling border city in Tijuana, Mexico, across from El Paso, Texas, has been synonymous with femicide, the intentional killing of women and girls because of their gender, since the early 1990s. These murders, often involving abduction, sexual assault, torture, and mutilation, followed by the dumping of bodies in deserts or ditches, represents one of the world's most notorious cases of systemic gender violence. The crisis exploded amid economic shifts from the North American Free Trade Agreement in 1994, which fueled the growth of maquiladoras, foreign-owned factories, and drew thousands of young women from rural areas seeking jobs. Despite international outcry, government investigations have been marred by corruption, impunity, and victim blaming, with conviction rates hovering below 5% for many years. As of 2024, the Mexican government issued a public apology to families for failures in cases from 1995 to 2003, acknowledging state responsibility. But violence persists. Mexico recorded over 900 femicides in 2023, with Juarez contributing dozens annually. And so reading this, that satanic drug trafficking cult, I think this was more industrial scale stuff. So yeah,
people were going there. There was a guy from Egypt. They call him the Egyptian, and he liked to torture women, and so that's what drew him to the border town of Juarez. Like that's why he went there. He was busted in Florida of all places, and where does he flee to? Juarez. So what's Jeffrey Epstein doing in Juarez in 2014? If he's there, if that statement is correct, it's very much out of the flight path. It's not that far from New Mexico, from the Zorro Ranch, which we just talked about, and all these weird code words, right? Is he trafficking kids out of Juarez or worse? It's not that far. It's not that hard to. I mean, this is a national security issue. They should be all over this story, because he might be involved in this stuff. And you just Jeffrey doesn't care, just kill them, right? Didn't we just read that about Zorro Ranch?
Absolutely.
It's literally
and so
like north of directly north of Ciudad
Yeah.
Juarez. But all these femicides are here. There's just so many. It's just like
when you want to just read that you want to read the stats. I think it's pertinent. No, just to stress this a little bit in that. So you have the movie Borderland shows again the narco Satanist cult. I was tying that mentally. I sort of linked these. This is different. This is like McDonald's. This is the fast food of international sex trafficking, rape and kill women, right? William, would you agree with me on that?
100%. And I think it's internationally notorious. Like you can go like the pedo stuff was Netherlands or whatever, right? The Zandvoort stuff. So all the pedophiles would go there because they wouldn't, or if they got busted, they would go there to Amsterdam because they wouldn't get arrested or extradited. So if you are a sex or you can go, like, if you want to rape kids, you go to Asia or like Thailand. What's the one next to Thailand?
Sri Lanka.
Yeah, one of those places. Oh, Sri
Oh.
Lanka. Good point. So that's why Clark went to Sri Lanka, right?
Right.
Because he could be with boys.
That's right.
If you're into this really rough stuff, you go to cu.rs. Read Roberto Bolaño's 2666. It'll blow your mind. It's an incredible book. Yeah, it's just like what that Jeffrey Epstein is alleged to even come through here is a real tell for me. Like, I was like, what? It gets worse too, because these are all named people and all these events. But we're really, one of the things about the Juarez thing is that there were okay. Somebody want to read this? This is interesting. I can read it if somebody want to read it.
From where? From the chilling subset?
Yeah. It says targeting young girls through computer training schools, a pipeline, a vulnerable pipeline. So they're targeting girls through computing schools, a vulnerable pipeline. That's very important because that's what Jeffrey Epstein was doing with all these trafficking worldwide, is a pipeline, right?
I can get you a job at Microsoft.
Right. They were targeting them because the girls would get her picture taken and identity, right, and age and all those stats. They would fill out a form, and they think somebody was going back through those and sifting through like files for bits. So it's pre-selection, much like the smiley face killers.
Right. A chilling subset of cases involving young women lured or last seen at computer training centers, affordable programs promising skills for Makia or job or office jobs, attracting ambitious teens from low-income families. These schools, often in central locations, become hunting grounds for predators. As girls attend alone during off hours, activists and human rights reports, including Amnesty International's 2003 investigation, highlight how such programs inadvertently funneled vulnerable youth into danger, just like Oprah did in Africa with her school, right?
Or how about Erica Kirk in Romania?
Oh, right. Jesus. Recruiters or stalkers posed as mentors, offering opportunities that led to abductions.
Can you repeat that sentence one more time, please?
Recruiters or stalkers posed as mentors, offering opportunities that led to abductions.
Who does that sound like? It sounds like Jeff and Ghislaine, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes. Researchers like those in gender studies, ergo via Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, theorize this as deliberate targeting. Schools concentrated desirable, young, educated, mobile victims, exploiting aspirations for upward mobility in a city where 40% of women faced poverty. No single serial recruiter was proven, but patterns suggest networks used these sites for scouting, blending with Makia hiring fairs.
It's just incredible stuff. So you have people posing as mentors, offering opportunities. There's no single one person, so it's not obvious. It's a network using these sites for scouting. So they're scouting for victims, pre-victims. And if you read into, like I've done, I mean, it's just absolutely horrible stuff, but I've researched the femicide. I did a full episode on it on William Ramsey Investigates. And it's just like they were selected, and they're very just crushing, grinding poverty, shanty towns, just really horrible stuff. And they think that nobody ever came forward to say they killed a couple prosecutors. They were literally hunted down in the streets of Juarez and shot by the cartel, like the cartel dominates. But they think that this is something of this secret society theme. It's not happening through, I hope not through Jeffrey Epstein's, but they take the kids and then they do horrible stuff, but it binds them together. So like it's very dark and evil stuff, but like, instead of like chummy, like business guys going out and getting prostitutes, this is where they pre-select like these elite people. And they might be like Constanzo. A lot of these guys are into the occult, Santa Muerte and stuff like that.
But
So
also the most dangerous game. Human hunting, right? Do you think that's possible?
Right. Oh, 100%. And I think people are going into that town to do that. So I think that it's not just like, that's it. So this woman, this is a very telling thing, because this is the symbol that they use, is this black cross on pink. But this is literally what you drive through to go from Juarez to El Paso. So it's not it's not some memorial out on a hill somewhere. It's something about the trafficking. So like, we're going to see this in this movement, in this international movement and breakdown of borders and people moving to and fro. Jeffrey constantly moving. But I think this is important. It gets worse.
It was the IDF was letting foreigners come to Gaza to shoot children. That was proven.
That was proven in Sarajevo too. They were like, rich people wanted to just blow people away for money. Crazy. So they would just sit out and snipe people. That's a proven story too. So then we look through Jeffrey's financial interest. We're at about the 2-hour, 40-minute mark. But we go to him. He invests in LifeTouch, pays for LifeTouch too. Do you know what LifeTouch is?
No.
LifeTouch is the company that takes pictures of every high school age person around the country.
Wow.
And who owns LifeTouch? Shutterfly. What's his investment thing? Do you see that little yellow part up there?
Yeah.
Jeffrey's a shareholder in Shutterfly. Isn't that weird? Not only is he a shareholder, he's got a huge stake in there. $2.5 million. Wow. He's bought 2.5 million shares of Shutterfly.
Dude, look at this guy's balance sheet.
He was worth hundreds of millions of
dollars. Whoa, look at this balance sheet. Wow.
But this stake is just really incredible. These are documents.
That's a controlling stake. I mean, especially if it's a startup and you have that kind of state initially.
Who is running Shutterfly? Apollo Global Management, his friends that he's talking to all the time. Leon Black, Josh Harris. They're in the files a lot. And what's they're building? It's a huge freaking monolith, guys. It's literally like eyes wide. It's literally Arthur C. Clarke monolith. Super occultic, man.
And the X's are like, those are X's on Windows is like death. It's in movies and old movies. They would put X's on windows. And it's also the hourglass. And that's a big symbol for the programmed individuals. They are like, your time is running out. Like, do what you can now or whatever.
This is AI to AI.
This is great.
Pope holding Robert Bolaños 266. You could do a whole show on 266. It's literally like War and Peace, but it's just such a major, I call it a major literary flex. The guy was just incredible. He was a genius. Like, there's no question. Like, he got it, man. And there's all kinds of fake names and people traveling around. It's just.
I'm going to read that book. At first, I thought the picture was real. William, you got me there.
But then, like, watch this current stuff. I'm going to tell you stuff. I'll show you something. Schools dropping the use of LifeTouch all over the country. They're dropping this. I'm not writing this. I just put this into the search
Why is
engine.
it LifeTouch? Why is it
right?
Why is it touch and kids? Like, what the hell?
Some schools are cutting ties with LifeTouch amid Epstein claims.
And that's great, because instead of just being like horrified, they're actually doing something. Thank you. I'm glad somebody's doing something once they read
Instagram. East Texas school drops LifeTouch over student photos, over rumors around. They're not rumors. I just showed you he invested $2.5 million in Shutterfly, guys. School cancels cast pictures after online claims. It's not a claim. I just proved it. That's how bad these journalists are.
That's how they do it.
They can find it on there. So they're just so, they don't even do like work. They don't get in the trenches. These guys are like, it's all over New York Post. This is today, guys. This is February 15th. Some U.S. schools cancel class pictures. Yeah, if you don't want your kid targeted by an international network, you might want to not get their picture taken.
Or not send them to public school.
Well, that's a good point. I'll have to do a show on my own on Bolaño. It's just extraordinary.
So just for anyone who's interested, so Life Touch in Hebrew gematria is 401, English gematria 594, in simple gematria 99. So
maybe they do stuff on gematria type stuff.
Well, no, I mean, so it's like these names of these companies. I mean, these are not just, these kind of things, especially when they're involved in these network things, there's going to be some gematria involved in the name, generally speaking, I would say.
Good point. Yeah, like even the way that Crowley structured the words that he used, and he put a K on the magic to make so it fits with the gematria. That's right.
The other side of Matamoros is Brownsville. So I think that Ciudad Juarez is really on the... I wonder how far it's literally just directly south of the ranch and Santa Fe Institute. People mention that. Santa Fe Institute also has a monolith, so keep an eye out for monoliths. They show up 9/11, 2001 Space Odyssey, Arthur Clarke total. Sean and I have done a show on Arthur C. Clarke, and I had forgotten I think it was The Guardian did a 3-part episode about Clarke. I'd forgotten how bad it was. And I read, I was like, oh man, he's a stone cold member of
NAMBLA.
Yeah. NAMBLA, right.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he's out there in Sri Lanka, with all the
ping
boys.
Pong.
Yeah, playing ping pong. It ties
back into Comet Pizza. These guys are all involved in that symbolism.
And the kids whore themselves for money to bring it home to mom and dad. It's a whole system they got, and it's sick. And all the rich white people go there. Ha ha ha! Little kids love me
because they want your money, and you're a predator.
Right.
And there was like that one, like I think we literally found like the hotel was still extant, right?
Oh, right.
The same pool party place he would go to.
That place is kind of grimy too. It's really gross when you look at the pictures, man. It's fucking sick.
Gross. It's so bad.
Yeah, and because
he
talked about it in his own show. He had that show, Amazing Mysteries.
Amazing Mysteries, whatever.
Yeah, something like that. And it was episode 9 of his show where he was playing ping pong with an 18-year-old, in quotes, boy in shorts, a Sri Lankan boy playing ping pong. This is my partner as he plays ping pong. Dude, tell me about the rainbow fish. Okay. What kind of code are you talking? I'm sorry, guys. I'll stop.
Oh, it's just crazy. I mean, it all kind of ties together and overlaps in this dark nether world.
Yeah.
266 goes into that too. I don't know. We are at the 2-hour 45 minute. We got over 500 listeners. Thanks everybody for listening. Really appreciate it. I don't think I can follow up with the chat. It would take all day. You guys are chatting like crazy.
This is great. I could go all night. I have my wife I gagged her.
Oh, sweet.
No, I'm just, my God, I stopped joking. This is,
you put her on wife mute.
Yeah.
No, the wife mute invention is working. I'm going to be a billionaire. I can hang out with Epstein. But I mean,
I can keep going too.
But
whatever.
I just want everybody, I know this is abstract to a certain degree, right? But just see that, okay, the people that have everything, that have more than everything, but what is their pleasure in life? Just creating so much massive human pain.
Suffering.
Even if, okay, maybe you enjoy doing something, right? Okay, but you enjoy something specifically because you're destroying people forever. And even if they're not dead, their minds and souls and bodies are shattered. And this is, again, I just bring up that thing that, the narco-Satanism, there are these specific cultic practices. This is, with this thing in Juarez is, like I said, it's like Walmart of sex abuse. And these are all, it's a massive industry. So it is.
It's a border town like TJ. So it's not just the girls are femicided. You can go and watch strippers and prostitutes, in my understanding. I almost crossed the border last year and went in, but I was too freaked out. I was there. I drove through there. It's really grim. El Paso is an interesting town, but it's a very desert border town feel. It's a cool place to drive through, but I mean, same with New Mexico. But yeah, it's like TJ, like white guy too, stands out like a sore thumb, I think.
It's crazy the security on that road, Route 10 down, along those states on the edge. They got signs that's got a picture of a human and it's got a slash through it. I mean, that's like
don't pick people up.
Well, yeah, right. But I mean, it's just like the eugenics is like, I mean, that's like their motto. It's like their Malthusian, like freaking, they should wear it on their shirt.
It's really it's really an insight into the elite mindset too. This whole Epstein files of like, you're just a disposable piece of property, you're just a human resource to them. And they really just think that, like, that's just a fact. Like, I mean, I think it's stated before, like they don't, Hans talked about it, like, hey, they don't care. Do you want to talk about that? Go back and talk about that bookshelf again? Because I got AI's opinion on everything. Let's see.
Oh, sweet.
It's like, the thing is that, like Gilderay, right? This is now everybody's Gilderay and they're getting away with it. You know what I mean? Like what he was doing in that limited context, it is. So I think this is a different level, right? He was an anomaly, right? There were, I mean, yes, you have secret societies and cults and this and that, but he was an anomaly as this crazed, Satanist child sacrificing person. It seems like the whole infrastructure is now Gilderay. Right. Without any prosecution. There's no prosecution.
Once they can desensitize us all the way, they can just have it be Satan society everywhere, and everybody can be.
It's a satanic empire.
Yeah, right.
It's all Luciferian values. Overall, this is what Grok says. This image depicts a luxurious neoclassical style library study, what appears to be Jeffrey Epstein's townhouse. It features a grand custom-built wooden bookcase unit spanning nearly the full wall, framed by two ornate columns evoking ancient temple architecture. The design blends opulence with eccentricity, dark mahogany woodwork, gold accents, and eclectic shelving that mixes intellectual pursuits, books on science and philosophy, with personal mementos, photos, trinkets, and small taxidermy or sculptures. A large executive desk anchors the foreground, suggesting this was a space for reading, reflection, or private meetings. The lighting is warm and intimate with modern floor lamp casting soft shadows. A blurred or censored figure stands to the left, dressed casually in a blue polo and white shorts, adding a lived-in feel. The overall aesthetic screams old money meets modern oddity with hints of Masonic symbolism in the pillars and a curated display of power and intellect. The room scale is imposing. The bookcase towers about 12 to 15 feet high with multiple tiers of shelves divided by the columns. It is likely on one of the upper floors of the 21,000 square foot 7-story townhouse, which was rated in 2019, later sold for $51 million in 2021. Reports from the time described this area as part of Epstein's piano room or private library, where he hosted elites like Bill Clinton and Woody Allen. The space evokes Solomon's Temple, tying into Epstein's rumored interest in Freemasonry and esotericism. Well, we've already shown that tonight. The standout architectural features are the two spiraling, barely twist or Solomonic columns flanking the bookcase, topped with elaborate gold Corinthian capitals, featuring acanthus leaves and volutes. These are explicitly named Boaz, left in meaning in strength, and Jach in right, meaning he shall establish. In Epstein's home inventory, direct references to bronze pillars At the entrance of King Solomon's temple in the Bible. I wonder if this guy's a Mason. In Masonic lore, they represent duality, strength, and establishment, bows and Joshian as pillars of wisdom. Epstein, who collected Masonic artifacts and hosted secret society-inspired gathering, yeah, he did, likely installed them as a nod to this. Similar columns appear in Renaissance art, Bernini's Baldacchino and St. Peter's Basilica. Yeah, that's right. And occult symbolism. They stand about 8 to 10 feet tall, carved from dark wood with reddish patina, and add a theatrical, almost ritualistic grandeur to the room. No photos or art directly interact with them, but they frame the shelves like temple gates, emphasizing the collection's sacred status. The shelves are densely packed with hundreds of volumes, mix of leather-bound classics, modern hardcovers, and paperbacks, curated to project Epstein's self-image as a polymath, interest in science, philosophy, eugenics, and power dynamics. Many appear genuine, but FBI raids revealed some were dummy books with no pages. Wow. I didn't know that. Used for concealment. Categories include physics, biology, economics, and controversial pseudoscience. No full inventory exists publicly, but from visible spines in the image cross-reference reports, here's a breakdown. Top shelves, leather-bound sets, encyclopedias or classic like Shakespeare folios, art books with colorful spines. Middle left, science biography stack, The Double Helix by James D. Watson, DNA Discovery. Einstein volumes, His Life and Universe by Walter Isaacson. Red spine philosophy text, Kant or Nietzsche. Middle center, Economics and Power, Power Broker by Robert Caro. Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jared Diamond. The possible first edition of Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. Confirmed showcased in the townhouse per 2025 report. So he had the first edition. Wow.
Of course, dude.
Controversial occult books, middle right shelf. Books on eugenics, The Bell Curve by Herrnstein and Murray. Freemasonry text, Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike. A slim volume representing the protocols of the elders of Zion. Lower shelves, modern paperback, stacks of thrillers, Liar's Poker by Michael Lewis. Loose books, hardcover on desk, probably Sapiens by Novel Yuval Harari.
There he is, man. The guru. Noval, you got money, motherfucker. Ghost.
Wow.
This guy is, they're like, you're reeling out from like the crypt. You know what I mean? It's like creatures from the crypt. Like, this is the best you got as like the intellectual leader of the world. You know, this guy he's not even he's not a scientist. He's not really a philosopher. He's just promoting the dogma of what? Obliteration, sapiens, bow down and accept your mastery of AI as your masters. What a telling bookshelf, man. That's, are you still going? I mean, I just heard.
That's more on the art and paintings.
We should, okay, go ahead.
Art is intimate and character driven, integrated into shells rather than dominating walls, focusing on portraits, miniatures, and oddities. No massive pieces like the infamous Clinton portrait in blue dress. Dog portrait, center shelf, 18th to 19th century style painting of a seated spaniel or terrier. Male portrait, dark shadowy oil of a man in period attire, possibly 17th century Dutch. The frame is antique gold. It hangs at eye level, adding mystery. Could be an ancestor or symbolic figure. Fake sepia scene in a coasted or ruined temple evoking romanticism. Small scale suggests it's a print or sketch displayed with shells for thematic cohesion. There's a small thing. Epstein's broader collection included twisted pieces like Kees van Dongen's Femme Fatale, nude woman exposing breast, and Damien Loeb's Little Miss Pink Tomato. Creepy child pageant painting. Oh no. We have to take a look at that. That's in his collection. Maybe I'll ask what else was in his collection. Photos. 20 to 30 frame photos. Who's who of his power that underscores his influence. Of small groups. One scene with a young woman, possibly Maxwell. Epstein with scientists at a TED-like event. Shot with a woman. Epstein with Bill Clinton. Woody Allen headshot. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, formal portrait. Framed $1 bill signed by Bill Gates. These create an ego wall effect, blending intimacy with intimidation. Many seized in 2019 as evidence of his Lolita Express circle, and there is a picture of his Lolita Express plane there. If you see it right in the center, so maybe that's like another hint to everybody. But wow, that's about it. Now I want to look up and see what Little Miss Pink Tomato is. I'm probably gonna have a bad day.
But so these are the Yaakov and Boaz pillars, right? So this is a Temple of
Oh
Solomon.
no.
Oh no.
No. This is it, Little Miss Pink Tomato.
Oh.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
I'm gonna.
No.
We're ruthless researchers. Okay,
No,
show
come
it to
on.
us.
Let me
I
see.
need it.
Give me the hit.
My safety goggles.
Right.
Let's see if I can find a picture of it. Okay, here it is. Guys, the longer we've stayed here, more people are holding on. We're at 550 listeners. Can't believe you guys have held on for this long.
Oh my
We're almost
God.
literally countdown to the three hour mark.
Whoa.
That's in his or was in his collection.
Gross.
1995. I don't even want to look at Damien Loeb's work anymore, but let's find Kees Van Dodgen's Femme Fatale.
That was one of this Little Miss Pink Tomato. This is referencing John Benet Ramsey type stuff.
Seems like it.
Okay.
But notice how
for the listeners that aren't watching, there's multiple prepubescent girls in bathing suits on stage in front of bright lights. That's the painting. That's what's on. And behind it looks like a tornado or something, like a storm.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, it looks like a tornado.
But important to note, their faces are like haggard, middle-aged women. You know what I mean? That would be, you know what I mean? They don't look like little girls. Oh my God, what is that?
This is the other one. This is the other one they mentioned. This is Femme Fatale by Kees Van Dongen, D-O-N-G-E-N.
Is it a diptych or is it which one? The painting?
I think it's the one on the right.
Okay.
I think this woman on the left is imitating it.
She's just trying to be cool.
The Scarlet Woman on the left, I should say. Red. More red themes. Guys, I think I'm at the 3-minute hour mark. I think I'm done. I think I'm
done too.
I think this is probably the best way out. You guys want to promote more before we're done?
Yeah,
hey, watch Wake the Dead. Hans, go ahead.
Okay, watch The Resonant State, the world's most popular podcast. YouTube, Spotify, BitChute, Rumble just did a big drop on Patreon of these basically classified recordings I have. Classified meaning they're not available, of the Grateful Dead. Please, get me motivated to continue this quixotic. You say quixotic? Quixotic fight against the system. No, we're gonna win. So please support the Resonant State, and thanks to these guys. I mean, we've been doing this now. You know what?
Since summer.
The great thing is that
we started it before Charlie Kirk got shot in September.
The thing is, it is always fresh though. It's like it's not like it's like it's like we just did it for the first time.
The first Manchurian was in August. It was in August.
Wow.
We followed a lot of these trends, and now we're kind of riding the wave into this next dimension with the Epstein revelations, which is
guys, we only scratched the surface, man. There's like so much more.
That's great.
I mean, it's just really crazy. It's no other way to put it. How crazy it was, just like all the revelations and the Satanism and how much trafficking and how many people are involved. It's a network. It won't be called the Epstein files. It'll be the Epstein network. And all these other people are going to be exposed, and it's going to be really bad for them because we didn't even talk about the 5-year-old kid rape tonight, which is really dark. Like, it's so freaking dark. It was investigated privately by a big time law firm within the last 2 or 3 years, which is like really something else. Like, this is new info. So to hear Kash Patel kind of get up there and say he didn't have any influence. This is a massive criminal event, guys. This isn't like one crime. This is like crime of trafficking over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, like thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of times. It's that bad. It's just like totally endemic. So to see them lie on there is just really bad.
It's what you'd expect, though, after all this research we've been doing.
Just watching Trump just lie and deflect so brazenly is just
why
like
he's up there. He's really good at that.
Yeah, I'm not in him. It's like that reality shaping, like Abramovich or Roy Cohn. Just create a new reality for yourself that isn't based in facts. Right? Doing. There was I don't know if you guys saw that, but there's this comedian on Saturday Night Live, and he did a skit about Trump. Did you ever see that one where he had shoes and stuff?
No.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But Trump gets the ball to play basketball, and he takes a shot and airballs and goes 3-pointer. He just his own reality. Trump's walking around literally shaping and
abracadabra.
Right. That is completely different than just accepting reality.
Right.
It's just insane, man. It's so crazy.
Well, that's the whole thing, is that we create the reality. We create the illusions, and you're just animal. We'll designate you by animal names, and we'll do our personality profiling. Like I mentioned, the authoritarian personality. Most of us, at least if you're a white male, the master race, the Aryan race, I am a master race. No, just kidding. But at least come on, man. I have a right to live, just as my blade of grass has a right to live. Anyways, all this stuff has been so imprinted and programmed. It's through aggregate technologies. It's through creating, you get box-like profiles. You direct people in certain corrals. For example, the computer girls, whatever, right? The girls at the computer, vulnerable women, little girls living in the slums of Mexico, and they're drawn in to get a job, right? Just like, going back to the FBI documents, you go to the Career Counseling Center and you get hypnotized and become a mind-controlled assassin, right?
Yeah, the CCC. Yeah.
But so these funneling aspects, it's and now, we can all see it. So let's remove these satanic leeches off. Really let them burn. Now it's time for us to wake up and take our own power back as who we are within the order of the universe, and deflect this power, which is what we're doing. We can deflect this power. They are not all powerful. They're powerful only to the extent that we choose to allow them, and we will not do that anymore.
Amen. Let's finish it on some humor and watch this skit. You guys haven't seen this one?
Right before, I just wanted to mention that I didn't really say anything about my show, but recently I've been doing a series with Headless Giant, and we're talking about the Phoenician, Carthage child sacrifice cult that's worldwide, and it's always rearing its ugly head again and again. And if people want to learn the history of this kind of mentation and what those occult societies have been doing, check out there was 3 episodes that I did with Headless, and we're going to continue going into the old history. So people should check that out on Wake the Dead. And William Ramsey's show, please, William, before we go.
Go check out Trump Sneakers, guys. I don't want to play it because it'll screw up.
Right. Yeah, we're on YouTube right now.
Yeah, somebody will show up at my door. You played a video at the end of your show. We know exactly what you did. Anyway, thanks, everybody. Thanks for all the listeners. Over 500 people. Please share the show. Restream it if you feel like it. Really appreciate it. I wish I could get to all the comments. It's taking longer to follow up. I don't think there's any bot activity or anything nefarious that YouTube is doing. I think you just guys are all talking too much. You're talking so
what
much.
It is? It's because some people are on my channel and some people are on Hans's channel. Some people are on your multiple channels. You have 3 on whatever. So
I'm
like
streaming to 5
they
channels
don't
myself. So
they don't see all the comments that you're getting because it's all funneling to you, and like they're like, "What the hell? I don't see that comment." That's probably what's happening.
I think you're right.
Okay.
So I don't know how I can solve
Like
that. I
you
tried
see,
to do it with
you
that
see them
ticker.
all. No, that's great. The ticker's great. I like it there. But you see them all, but they don't see them all, and that's why they think there's something up with YouTube's trying to scam them, because YouTube usually is trying to scam them. You know what I mean? So it's a good first
That's
reaction.
so true. It's too much. All right, guys. Till next time. Thanks so much. Thanks everybody for
All
listening.
right, thank you guys.
Have a
It
wonderful.
was great.
Have a great holiday tomorrow, everybody.
Yes, God bless you guys. Thank you for
Peace. Ending
joining us.
stream. All right, end stream.